Jesse?
I haven't actually been on our honeymoon yet.
Well, now you got some options.
Yeah, I guess
you could ride nude on a horse on the beach.
Sounds great. I don't think that's going to be in the cards. We're going on a cruise in late January. I've never been on a cruise before, so that's going to be kind of our replacement honeymoon because our plans got canceled due to COVID restrictions after we got married. Coming out of that, so
good thing you didn't go on a cruise then.
Yes,
you might still be on the boat.
Correct. So I don't have any stories of the honeymoon yet.
Well, now you got some ideas.
Yeah, thanks for the brainstorm session.
I don't think that is recommended to ride a horse nude.
Seems uncomfortable.
It's always uncomfortable, regardless.
Did you have fun doing it?
It was fine. It was you're constantly buzzed because it's free drinks. So you just kind of were like nonplussed about it. You're like, let's give it a try. Why not? We don't know anyone. I don't think there was one other couple on the beach and they were like on the other side. Like it wasn't like some. Look, I lived in South Florida. I went to South Beach. That was far, and I kept my clothes on there. But it was far more wild there because there's hundreds of people there, and then so anyone deciding to go topless. I mean, I guess I was topless at South Beach, but that doesn't really matter. But that was far more of a whoa, what's going on than a private beach that one other couple was on. So I'm not saying anything crazy, but it was out of the ordinary, and I'm not doing it again. Things didn't get better, even though I work out at Carbon Health. I don't think things got better over the last 14 years. I was more like Matt Hamilton's age, wearing a cowboy hat and everything. Terry chimes in. Yes, Terry, this is a real show because he says if this is live, he wanted to mention this because Matt's talking about San Diego. A fun fact about San Diego is that the founder of San Diego is one of the founders of Hortonville in Hortonville, Wisconsin. Alonzo Horton.
What?
I don't know. It's on the internet.
Founder of Hortonville
is Alonzo Horton.
Have either of you been to Hortonville?
I just heard of Hortonville just now.
Can't say that I have.
I honestly confused it in my brain as I was reading it as Whoville.
And I saw the bridge yesterday too, and I also heard Whoville.
All right, 844-770-3776. We'll get to football. There was football last night. There is football tonight. And there's too much football going on. It's just too much. The Packers play Sunday afternoon now. They play a Minnesota Vikings team. But I also wanted to ask this as we have you for the next 3 hours. We got plenty to get into. 844-770-3776. You can chime in with what's the out-of-the-box thing you did on your honeymoon that you'll likely never do again. Again, keep it ESPN Wisconsin friendly. And then also, to that point, Matt and Jesse, I want your answers on the other side here, but there was an internet little, I wouldn't say a kerfuffle, but it was a little bit of a social media trend yesterday, and I think someone was kind of being a jerk and asked the question, what do you even do on Christmas if you don't have kids? And rightfully, people were kind of like, I did plenty of awesome things. And for me, I read it, and it's like, oh, you know what? It wasn't as, it's, you have kids, you think, that's the whole world. But you're like, there's nothing wrong with going to, hang out with your family and have some drinks or go see aunts and uncles or just go on vacation, do whatever you want. But obviously, having kids is fantastic. Santa shows up. It's amazing. But, honestly, people who have kids, younger kids, when Santa visits, we all kind of have the exact same Christmas. I mean, give or take a little bit. But Santa shows up. You drag your kids who don't want to leave and have to leave all their presents, and you stick them in uncomfortable clothes, and you drag them to either your parents' house or your in-laws' house, and that's Christmas. That's everyone's Christmas with kids of that Santa age have the exact same Christmas.
Wait, you don't let them open them first?
Well, Matt, I didn't do every step. Yes, they open their presents, and that's why they don't want to leave. Is they open their presents, they have them all, and then they don't get to play with any of them. And honestly, it might be better to be like, you know what, just come back because it's going to be worse because you're going to open all these, you're going to see how great they are because you were good kids and Santa brought all your presents, but you can't. You barely we get them out of the box, and then we got to go.
That was my childhood.
That's everyone's childhood. So. And I'll get your answers on the other side, 844-770-3776. I would love, what did you do if you were child-free this holiday season? Whether you're an empty nester, whether you don't have kids.
Is this related to the honeymoon question or no?
Well, maybe. Never had a married Christmas without kids. But I would say that I do remember them, and I remember like going out to my parents and hanging out and kind of just a fun time. And my wife came a few times. We were dating before we got married, so like we went to my parents' house and we did some Christmas, more the adult kind of hangout sort of Christmas, or go on a vacation or do something around the holiday and not have to. Because here's the thing. I also think your parents at some point are less inclined to see you. They're like, it's give or take. If you have kids, you can't not be at Christmas because everyone cares about the grandkids. You slide down the list.
Are you saying they didn't care if I showed up to Christmas this year, Jim?
I would say that once you two become parents, you slide way down the totem pole. Like if you say we're gonna drop the kids off and go, they'd be like, it's fine, whatever. Like as long as the Santa kids are here, especially Santa age kids, yeah, you're really honestly in name only a part of the family at that point. You're just we want to see the babies. We want to see the youngsters.
There's a lot to unpack there, Jim.
You don't think that's the case?
No, first of all, Santa age kids. I don't even know what that means.
Yes.
Second of all, I've never been the favorite in the family, so I don't feel like I'm going to slide any further down the list.
God, you never grow out of it. Goodness,
never will.
You never grow out of it. The rest of us have grown out of it. I don't have this sibling rivalry with my brother trying to figure out who's the favorite. It's me. Yeah. All right, this is not Jim, Matt, and Molly. This is Wilde and Tausch. We are presented by Coors Light. We'll be back after this.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It doesn't matter if it's your first betting slip ever or just the first one of the week. We've got your Potawatomi sportsbook picks covered. Tune in Wednesdays to the Weekly Wager with Greg Matzik, Ben Brust, and Jen Latta.
If someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything, you take it.
The Weekly Wager, Wednesday nights at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
The Harlem Globetrotters 2025 World Tour is here, bringing all the cool tricks and laughs fans love. We're coming to the Fiserv Forum on December 31st. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets to the 2025 World Tour, presented by Jersey Mike Subs.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. From full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Experience the excellence of Catholic Memorial High School for yourself. Come see why their students gain a competitive edge at CMH. Visit CatholicMemorial.net to schedule a VIP tour or student shadow day. Meet their inspiring teachers, welcoming students, and feel the energy of the CMH culture. All students achieve more than they ever imagined possible. Visit CatholicMemorial.net to schedule your visit. That's CatholicMemorial.net. Catholic Memorial High School in Waukesha, where you rise.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hey, you've definitely had a busy month. Finding gifts, sending cards, hosting family. Well, now it's time to treat yourself at Macy's After Christmas Sale. Come and find great deals on something just for you. Like 25% off New Year's party looks from DKNY, Adriana Papel, and more. So enjoy the week and get yourself the gifts you really wanted before these limited time deals are over. At Macy's After Christmas Sale. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
had nightmares at my birth mom's house. It was really scary living there. There were always drugs in the house. The police came, and that's when I was placed into foster care.
Right now in the U.S., more than 100,000 children, like Ariana, are waiting for a family.
Once I was adopted, I definitely felt safe.
Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find permanent homes for children in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Spending more time at home? Don't forget that 94.5 ESPN's on your smart speaker. Just ask Alexa to open 94.5 ESPN. 94.5 ESPN on Alexa is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 28 years on the Packers, 37 years playing in the NFL, 87 years covering the Packers, and 46 years of being on ESPN. There's no place with more experience when it comes to talking about the green and gold. All day, every day. We are 94.5 ESPN.
Out with babies. She'll be back sometime in March. Congratulations, her and her family with the twins. She sent a great photo to our text chat with her 3 youngest children all in a row. And Tyson, he's a 2.5 or so, and he looks like he's 42 compared to the babies next to him. But an adorable photo shared by Molly Brown. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. I'm in the Everlight Solar Studio. Matt Hamilton is in the Outback. Jesse Nelson sequestered behind the glass because he's a good teammate. He's sick. He's having a flu game. He's running the board. He's producing the show behind the glass. So if you do call in, be nice to Jesse today. It's one of the few times I'll say it. But you know what? I'm feeling the Christmas spirit. And
thanks, Jim.
Matt, he told me why he doesn't feel well, and he can share that in a minute. But he looks and sounds like someone, with all due respect, Jesse. You got that look of like someone who has like a head cold that didn't sleep well last night. So he put the show sheet in here and has left me alone in the studio side of things. So that's fantastic.
Let me tell you this, Jim. I have a head cold and I didn't sleep well last night. So I look exactly what you think I would look like, I suppose. So powering through. But that's what happens. Everyone else takes off around here. I'm the hardest working producer we have, clearly, at ESPN Madison.
I'll tell you what. Are you going to, I feel like you got this from your teammates. I'd be mad at Matt if I was sick over Christmas because of him.
Wilde definitely showed up with Matt LaFleur called him out at the press conference the other day. Did you guys hear that?
A little under the weather there, Jason.
So saw him on Monday night. I don't want to point any fingers, but
that's a good point.
You do have a famous head cold then. It was referenced by Coach LaFleur.
You're right. Yeah, I've got the one that LaFleur talked about. Wow.
There you go. You're basically a Packer at this point. You're more of a Packer than a shareholder, I'll tell you that. You have more of a connection to the Green Bay Packers because you shared a cold. One of the Packer players probably has it too. And maybe that's where Willie got it from. You are now more connected to the Green Bay Packers than any shareholder is.
Seems like a stretch.
Also, speaking of Packer fans, look, a stretch is saying you didn't buy a worthless piece of paper for God knows whatever they charge for it. That is a stretch. But I was around Packer fans this holiday season.
Worthless.
And I got some magic beans, Matt, I'd like to sell you during the next break. But during the holiday season, I'm around Packer fans, and they all revealed to me that maybe our poll, Matt, that we did on Tuesday was full of liars. I was congratulating Packer fans for being sickos and watching the game start to finish because it was 80% said they watched it start to finish.
Right.
Not a single, and I was probably around 15 Packer fans, not a single Packer fan said that they watched that thing start to finish. At best, it was more on, or if they went somewhere, they'd turn on the radio and run some errands, come back. I didn't run into, out of 15 Packer fans, 0.
Hold on.
0 voted that they watched it start to finish.
Okay.
They started.
How many of those Packer fans also watch or listen to our show?
Yeah, but Matt, I would still say I think
the diehards are living and dying with us.
They're all in southern Wisconsin, Illinois area. So these are all Packer fans. I would say that Packer, you're lying. I'm sorry,
I'm just saying people that listen to sports radio.
You host a radio show and you didn't watch any of it.
People that listen to sports radio. I watched a half of it.
I was at the game and I left in the early fourth quarter.
And how were you the only person leaving?
Nope. There were a mass exodus once the Packers went up 27-0, and then even later when they went up 34-0.
So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. It was worded a little bit weird. I meant when we wanted to ask it I meant you watched it start to finish, not that you had it on or that you were following along. And I don't fault you. That game, the Packers, to their credit against the Saints, ended that game by the end of the first quarter. And that is a huge credit to the Packers. That's not obviously the Saints were complicit in their own butt kicking, but the Packers are the ones that went out there and handled their business and made that game not at all dramatic in any way, shape, or form. And it's right before the holiday. Like, of course, I would hope that you have the life. I would say just the spice of life to mix it up and not watch that drudging after halftime at a bare minimum. Now, Matt, you said you kind of just had it on and you were getting ready for Christmas, and I think that would be the normal way to watch it. So I am curious about that because it ties into this. Yesterday, Netflix had 2 games. They were horrendous in quality, good in name. I mean, Ravens, Texans, and Chiefs, Steelers. Those are games you could be amped about. They were on Netflix. Tonight's game, I mean, I don't know why anyone's watching it, including me as a Bears fan. It's the Bears and Seahawks. I mean, I guess if you're a Hawks fan, if the Seahawks lose, then the Rams essentially have the division, is my understanding. So I guess that matters for the Packers because I think you'd rather see the Seahawks than the Rams in the playoffs if it came to that. But I would say that this game tonight is kind of for sickos only. The Christmas one, it's honestly a little bit, I feel like the NFL's bullying us. I got to see my family at some point, and now you're putting games on Christmas Day. Like, why? Why would you do that? Like, at some point, like, just give us a break. Let us see our families. Like, the NFL is holding us hostage of always having these games on all the time. They're bullies. And let
dramatic.
And let the NBA have the game. Let the NBA have the day too. The NBA, you can pop in. You might want to see little bits and pieces of your favorite team. And on that note, the Bucks should have been one of the games. But anyways, just give us back Christmas, Grinch. Roger Goodell's Grinch. Stop trying to take every day we have with our families away. You took away Sundays, now you're taking away Christmas Day. Because we're all addicted.
And Thanksgiving.
We're all addicted, and he is relentless in his delivering of the product.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's not doing New Year's Day stuff. Like,
don't you put that in the world, Matt Hamilton?
I mean, they've literally moved the Rose Bowl before because the NFL plays on Sunday, and they said, too bad. Like,
also, New Year's Day is fine. That's a football day.
New Year's Eve?
New Year's, whatever.
All of them.
New Year's Eve is not a family time, so that's not really stealing anything. Do what you want on New Year's Eve.
I hate the NFL on Christmas Day. 3 years in a row, the Packers played on Christmas Day, I believe, or maybe it was 2 years in a row, and then one was Christmas Eve. But I can't stand when the NFL plays. Like, they moved, and especially what bothers me about this week, it's the fantasy football championships. So people have to go out of their way to do something they haven't done all season long, and those of us who are good enough to be in the championships, just it's to me, a couple of teams, you have to set your lineup on Christmas morning before noon when you're either traveling to go see family or opening presents from Santa or getting food ready to host people coming over. Like, it's frustrating that they're going out of their way to play on Wednesdays, which they never do simply because it's a holiday, and messing up the schedule for the Steelers, Texans, Chiefs, and Ravens the week before the end of the season. Like, it's not fair that those teams get 10 days off going into the finale next week. The Chiefs are lined up where they don't have to play the starters now in the final week of the year. They can get like 2.5 weeks off before they have to play a playoff game. That's not fair because they moved it up to Wednesday. They have bantered about moving games off of Thursday night to Saturday, the final or penultimate week of the NFL season. And now we're going to move games all the way to Wednesday. It's stupid. I hated it, and I didn't watch a second of it yesterday.
Good for you. You're fighting the addiction. The NFL is feeding on the addiction of people, and I'm for one say, stop it. Let us have some time. Look, forget the bullying of the NBA. And I love the NBA, and I love the NFL. And I understand that people have their favorite sports, but like, we can expand sports. And I'm not great at this. Like, I think college basketball is horrendous, and baseball is kind of give or take for me. But the NFL and the NBA, two of my favorites. Can we not fight? This is the holiday season. I don't need my uncle and my parents fighting. Like, I want to be able to watch both. Like, stop bullying us, the NFL. Like, we can like the NBA and the NFL, and like, there's room for both of you. Why is the NFL going to be such a bully? They're picking on the NBA. Nobody likes a bully.
I don't think you're entirely wrong there, Jim. But people like football more than the NBA for the most part. So the football's just trying
your
to
parents like your sister more than you in your words, but they still don't bully you about it, do they?
I don't know. Maybe not as directly as I feel like it is, but I still feel slightly bullied, Jim. Also,
and it's not a good feeling, is it?
Any attention's good attention in my book. The fact that the NFL is on Christmas, I don't hate it when it's not my team. Like yesterday, it was perfect. I could tune into just as much of the NFL as I wanted to. I feel bullied by it when it's my team playing. Like Jesse said, it's like, I've got to change my schedule, my Christmas Eve, my Christmas Day to accommodate the Packers. Where yesterday, if it was on, great. I'd take a glance, see what the score was, make a comment about how that Houston Texans only have 2 points. What the heck is going on? And then carry on with my day.
Matt,
it was perfect.
You're explaining what's wrong with this country. You only care about you. It didn't directly affect you, so it affects nobody.
100%. That is probably the issue, but that's why yesterday's NFL slate was perfect. And Christmas Eve it was fine.
Also,
I was here for it.
Jesse, just pulling back the curtain for a minute here. I do love, and I know that we don't do like national radio talk, but Matt, not even a thought to watch any NFL, even though he's hosting 9 noon today.
Hadn't even considered. I'm doing Wilde and might want to see what Mahomes did. Just even a highlight. I didn't watch a second of the game, but Beyonce did a halftime show. That's pretty universally fun. Let's see what happened there. Nope.
I did see some of the Beyonce's halftime show.
Of course you did.
And,
like, what's this football? Let me turn this off now.
And what'd you think of the halftime show, Matt?
I thought Beyonce had a really cool hat, first of all. And I wish I had a pair of chaps just like those. That's my other Christmas
Can I say that, Matt? I think Matt just saw a photo.
Yeah, he was scrolling and didn't actually watch any of it. He just saw
it was on mute. We were listening to Christmas music. The TV was on mute, so I didn't really get to watch the game.
You watched the concert on mute.
We weren't watching it.
Well, you're
an
anti-live
Christmas
music
time,
guy.
but the television was on.
You're a historical anti-live music guy, anyways. So
yeah, that's a good point.
In a long list of terrible takes, that's a pretty high one. In honor of Tauscher,
live music is not as good as recorded music. That is not that crazy of a take.
No, that's not what your original take was. You don't like going to concerts because live music is not as good.
Yeah.
So, but the concert is a vibe. You could go to any country music concert. You could go to Country Fest. That thing? I think it's got to be a thing.
Still a thing.
It was a thing? I don't know. I just made up the words. 844-770-3776. Mike, the wedding DJ, chimed in. I watched every play of the game Monday night. Good for you, Mike. Maybe he should be doing this show. I also watched every minute of SportsCenter after the game with SVP.
Wow, good
Mike, the wedding
in-depth
DJ.
breakdown for Mike after the game. That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
So if he watched every play, did he see any curling? Because I thought I heard Troy Aikman went curling, but I never saw it.
Oh my God!
This is see again. If it does, Matt is like Matt. The whole world revolves around Matt Hamilton. The
Just
NFL games last night, no big deal. Packers weren't playing. Monday Night Football, Packers are playing, no big deal. But I think curling was mentioned.
Curling comes up in the Monday Night Football game by Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and you didn't think at some point, maybe I should just look into what they said because this is like my time to shine. I'm the curling guy. I could comment on this and say that we could go curling sometime, and you don't even know what he said.
Honestly, I thought Jim was going to set me up. Thought he was going to be like, okay, here was the situation. That's
Matt,
Jim's role. He's such a good quarterback.
I'm not really Olympic guy or curling guy, but I'm a Matt Hamilton guy. So if it involves you curling and Team Schuster or the Hamiltons curling, I'm in. Otherwise, I'm out.
I thought you were going to pick up on that one for sure.
844-770-3776 chiming in. I also want to ask this question before we go to break here, and it's in honor of Tauscher dunking on you, Matt. Because Tauscher had a pretty strong response to one of your horrible takes. So I want to ask this question. Which take is worse from Matt Hamilton? That he doesn't enjoy concerts? Or, and you can share your other one, because I don't want to misrepresent your insane football take.
Don't misrepresent this one. Are you talking about the one that Tucker Kraft stopped?
And Mike, the wedding DJ, just chiming in here. Yes. They showed Buck and Aikman curling They never showed Buck and Aikman curling. They did show him bowling. Same difference, though. All right, go ahead. I added that last little bit. But.
Savage. Okay, I figured that was your addition. So Jim's other bad take, I'm sure he's referring to, is my main take was that Tucker Kraft stopped his route in the middle of Jordan Love, kind of just trying to flip the ball.
And this, you got to give full details. This was
which game was that?
The Rams game, I believe.
Yeah, Rams, and he was getting sacked in the end zone.
Jordan Love
about to take a safety. Tucker Kraft assumed he was going to take the safety, stopped his route. And then Jordan Love kind of flipped it, thinking maybe my tight end is going to continue playing the football game and play until the whistle is blown. Like every football player has always been taught.
Your take was that
Hold on. So that really is my take.
No.
What ended up, how I defended it, ended up saying giving the other team a pick six is better than giving up a safety if you know you can't stop them anyway, because at least you get the ball back. Because if you give up the safety, you give up 2 points, you give them the ball back, and then they charge down the field and get 7 more. So there's 9.
And they could go for 2, could be 10-point swing.
Could be 10. So if you just do the safety, you get the ball back and control your own fate again. So I don't think it's that
if you just
crazy.
Do the pick six, you get the ball back.
And here's the thing, you have to totally buy into the idea that your defense will not stop this offense. If that's how you fully feel in your heart, this was playing 3D chess when everyone else is playing checkers.
Says the guy who's also excited about Jeff Apley. So I love all of there is no thread.
Jim, you can be excited but still believe something deep in your heart.
You tried to weave and you weave like everyone else who tries to weave. It ended nowhere. All right, let's go out to Josh. Let's go out to Josh in Kenosha.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Happy holidays to you.
You too.
You too.
Nice talking to some Bears fans.
Yeah. One.
There might not be a country fest, but there is a country thunder in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin, usually the 3rd weekend of July.
Matt, mark it down. You can wear your hat.
Giddy up, partner.
Yeah, that's 2 times a year you can wear the hat now. Yeah.
I'm wearing this the first day into the studio.
As a prop, again. Prove my point. Sorry, Josh, go ahead.
No, I'm good. I want to agree with you on the point of I don't need Christmas football, especially if it's going to be such terrible quality via streaming. Amazon Prime is bad enough. Yeah. And then with how bad those games were yesterday in terms of the competition, on paper they should have been great, but turns out they were just awful. I could have lived without that. And then I might be a hater here, but I can't stand Beyoncé anymore.
Yeah, I don't. How come?
I think she's overhyped, overrated, and then you tie her into the Jay-Z scandalous stuff with Diddy, and
snap!
It's not good. And then for her to ruin such a classic from Dolly Parton, come on.
No, thanks for the call. I will point this out. Dolly Parton did sign off on that. So, and Dolly actually said she likes it. So just for full purposes, and Jay-Z is not, that's been cleared. So just a little bit there. We do want to clear up the news, but if you don't like Beyonce, you don't like Beyonce. That's different. If you don't like her music, you don't like her music. But we should be clearing those 2 things up. That it sounds like someone was trying to extort Jay-Z, and then also Dolly Parton has signed off and says she really enjoys the song from Beyonce. So, just to be, we like facts here.
Matt, your thoughts?
Well, Matt didn't. Matt, what were your thoughts on it? Since what was the set list?
I didn't listen. Live music, Jim. I was listening to Christmas
So that's
music.
the other question I want there. What is your, what's Matt Hamilton's worst take? He's anti-concerts, or he thinks a safety or a pick six is better than a safety. 844-770-3776.
Now you're misrepresenting me.
Sounds pretty accurate.
Sounds like the show. We're misrepresenting everything. So, how about we go with that as a poll question? Which Matt Hamilton classic take is worse? Concerts stink, or pick six is better than a safety? We can chime in on that on the other side. 844-770-3776.
Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's makes the good stuff for good times. Find recipes, videos, and more at titosvodka.com.
Ho, 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 ho.
Year-end savings are here at Land Rover Waukesha. Unwrap a truly unique luxury SUV this holiday season. The new Range Rover Velar provides power, performance, sporting luxury, and all the latest technology. Get 3.9% special APR financing for up to 72 months only on a new 2025 Range Rover Velar at Land Rover Waukesha. 3.9% APR for 72 months. A deal so nice, even Santa will want in. Get your mittens on the most luxurious ride this holiday season. LandRoverWaukesha.com.
Those who don't have 20/20 vision usually do something about it. But many who can't breathe freely through their nose just live with it, not realizing they can have 20/20 breathing. At Advent, we're out to change that. With 20/20 breathing, you'll have fewer sinus infections, more energy, you'll sleep better, and you will live better. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. In 2006, Advent pioneered the balloon sinuplasty procedure. And since, thousands of our patients can tell you, this simple 20-minute in-office solution really works. Balloon sinuplasty can give you 20/20 breathing so you can breathe freely through both nostrils with your mouth closed day and night. And that can change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
College hockey returns to Fiserv Forum with the 4th annual Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off, December 28th and 29th.
The Wisconsin Badgers return to defend their title, facing the Ferris State Bulldogs in semifinal action on day one. The Yukon Huskies and Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks will battle for the other spot in the championship game. Don't miss the college hockey action coming to Milwaukee and see who wins the championship on day 2. Secure your seats today at Ticketmaster.com.
'Tis the season for celebrating, so why not make your holiday gathering unforgettable? Give your team or clients an experience they'll talk about long after the new year with V Private Bar Services. Forget the same old office party. With custom cocktails tailored to your brand and a top-notch mixologist team, V Private Bar Services brings the magic of a high-end bar to your event. Make this holiday season extraordinary. Visit vprivatebar.com to book your premier party today. That's vprivatebar.com for your next unforgettable event.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
This is Kevin Van Rossum, president of 3 Tree Marketing. Send gifts to appreciate anyone, anywhere, anytime with a gift of your choice by using our gifting solutions technology. Our team handles it all, from concepting, site creation, as well as production of branded products. Elevate your brand's connection to its consumers by creating the ultimate gifting experience with us. Make the art of gifting effortless for yourself. At 3 Tree Marketing, we chase partners, not orders. Visit 3treemarketing.com to see what we can do for you.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
Show podcasts, team-centric feeds, and listening live whenever, wherever. All of that in the palm of your hand. The Wisconsin On Demand app, available in the Apple or Android App Store.
Merry Christmas, Christmas comes this time each year. Well, way up north where the air gets cold, there's a tale about Christmas that
It is a Jim, Matt, and Molly takeover of Wilde and Tausch. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. Matt Hamilton doing his best Little Nas X impersonation, riding on a horse.
Is that Beyonce?
Yeah, that was Beyonce.
Is that your chaps shaking? Is that what we heard? What was that jingle?
Did you notice that hat was like way too big, though. That thing was like comically large.
All right, Matt Hamilton, Olympic gold medalist. You're awesome. I'm going to say you don't really have the fashion chops to chime in on what Beyoncé and her style.
I guess I shouldn't say that I didn't like it. I just thought it looked like comically large, like almost like one of those foam hats that you'd see at like an Aggies game or something.
It could be the cool kid thing, but also it could be because she's on TV and performing, you wear the large hats, because if you're wearing a smaller one, maybe it looks like you got a pinhead or something. I don't know. I don't know.
It was bigger than everyone else's hat on stage, so it probably was that, but it just looked comically large. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun outfit.
All right.
The chaps were my favorite part.
Please, let's not have those on the stream at any point. You can watch us on YouTube.
I'm asking for them for Christmas next year.
Well, Jesse, you mark down your list there. Jesse Nelson behind the glass. We are live.
We still need to talk about what's appropriate to wear to the office based on what he was donning the other day in here.
Yeah, if you missed that, Matt Hamilton
overalls,
was rocking overalls, shirts,
and nothing else. Yeah,
I had something under my overalls, just not over
not the
my
top
chest.
Hat, not the top part. Nobody really cares if you had nothing. If you're out there going Ben Brust, nobody cares. But we can see if you're topless.
I think there's not enough people in the studio to tell me I couldn't. That was
not
the problem.
how being in a professional workplace.
Yeah, that's not how workplace consent works. 844-770-3776. You can chime in on a couple things here. One, are you watching the game tonight? I would love to know that. I mean, you really are a sicko. I mean, you could watch it and just want to laugh at the Bears. Otherwise, like the Seahawks, if they lose, they I think are technically can't win the division. But if they win, then they play the Rams essentially for an NFC West championship game next weekend. So like that could create a really exciting game. But otherwise, it's been a lot of football, and Amazon not the best place to watch a game. I honestly thought Netflix, all things considered, first broadcast was better than Amazon as far as watching the game. But it is kind of annoying because you're watching those apps, you can't leave, you can't flip away. It's obnoxious. And even as a Bears fan, who's going to watch it, I don't love watching it on Amazon. It is kind of a pain. I am happy, though. I feel like less of the nation and other. This is probably one of the lower-rated games. You can chime in on that. You're going to watch the game tonight, 844-770-3776. I imagine just to laugh at the Bears. Also, what did you do in honor of Matt Hamilton riding a horse on the beach on his honeymoon, me going to a nude beach on my honeymoon? What did you do on your honeymoon that you'll likely never do again? On-air appropriate, please. And then we are also asking you, and I mean this is not a, I think online it was posted maybe a negative way, but I want to know, like, if you had a childless Christmas, whether you're an empty nester or you haven't had kids yet or you don't have kids or don't want them, what did you do? What did you do on your childless Christmas? There's a lot of really fun. You could go on vacation. You could go see family. You could just drink a bunch of Coors Light and get after it and have a great time. Just see some people go on a long walk, go on a bike ride. Like, there's a million. The world's your oyster. Everyone else with kids, we all did the same thing. Santa came. Then we opened presents. The kids didn't get to play with them long enough. We stuffed them into dress clothes they don't want to wear. And then they saw relatives that they probably don't see a lot of. And then we'd bring them back home, and then they play with their toys the rest of the night. Like, that's everyone else's Christmas. And so, what did you do?
That's like was my Christmas as a kid, and that's also my Christmas as an adult. I wake up. I get to see the presents from Santa. Mm-hmm. We open a couple of them, and then we got to bring them over to another family's house. And then so one family doesn't feel snubbed, we got to go to the other family's house.
Oh, I don't do that. We just
I get the exact same experience that your kids got, except Matt, I'm 35.
I love you, but we've felt this multiple times today. You're not the only person. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Other people have different times.
I think a lot of people do the same thing they did as a kid.
I didn't. Before kids. And I lived in Florida. I had Friends Christmas.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I did a bunch of, we had a big, kind of like Friendsgiving. It was actually pretty chill and enjoyable. And honestly, I would have loved Netflix football games back then. Jesse, what did you do?
So we were by two families yesterday. We spanned the state yesterday. So we were by my wife Becca's family on Christmas Eve, and this has been the way it's been for the last 7 years. We go by them on Christmas Eve, and then we make the drive down to the Milwaukee area, and we go by my family on Christmas Day, and we get home to the Madison area at night, and we're exhausted. And it's a crazy couple of days, and being sick for the drive home, and also adding up that we were at the Packers game on Monday night, we were extra exhausted after this weekend. So it's fun. We love that we can go see both families, but we know that at some point we're going to have to change our plans. Like when we have kids, we're not going to want to be doing the same type of travel that we're doing, going from family to family. So we're going to have to cross that bridge at some point here pretty soon, most likely.
I'll ask both of you this, and you can answer it or not. You don't have to answer who, but is there a side of the family that will be cool? Because my parents are cool. They're like, hey, Thanksgiving, we'll just see you guys. We'll do something like a week or two before or after. We'll all get together. Christmas, same thing. As long as we're all together around the time, we're good. So, like, we'll do Christmas in like a week or two with my brother and everyone else. They're cool. Not that my in-laws aren't cool, but they are very particular. Look, you got to be here and you got to do the same traditions. Our traditions are the only ones that matter because it's impossible. They got in-laws in basically northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin area, and then Cedarburg. My parents are in Cedarburg. So, we tried it one time. It was the worst holiday ever. And that's when we didn't have kids. My wife and I tried that. I felt like we drove 17 hours because it's dark at like 3:30 and you like leave one, you get to the other. I feel like we got to my parents at 7. And it was, I mean, like, it was just kind of, we didn't even have kids. We just got after it and had some drinks and hung out. But like, it was just exhausting. Yeah. It was just a lot. So we never split them again and we never will. So, like, is there one?
That's your Christmas tradition.
I think that's I think that's a smart thing. You can't, it's too much to split it because now you're just like a little bit with one, a little bit of the other. Neither one of them get the full freight. You just flip them, and then the other one you just see. You can do Christmas Eve with one and Christmas Day with the other, and then flip them the next year. So my question is, do you have a part? You don't have to say who, but do you have a family, a side of the family? Do you think will be cool if you did something like that?
Yes. My side of the family is very traditional, wants to get together on the holidays all the time. Becca's side of the family, definitely more open to it. In fact, we had a conversation because we were struggling to find an alternate time this year for everybody to get together because it was weird with Christmas being a Wednesday. It was kind of weird for work weeks and whatnot. So we were already talking about when to get together for Christmas next year, which we want to do the first weekend of January, which is actually 2026. So that's the point we were at that family Christmas this weekend, talking about when do we want to get together and adjust the plan for next year already. And I'm sure we'll wait until the last second to ultimately figure it out in the end. But
so you're not going to get a Christmas in 25?
Well, my family will go to on Christmas Day. I think we'll mix up what we do, but it's a lot because you want to do immediate families. Like, Becca has several siblings, and so we like getting together with her mom and dad and the siblings. But then you like to see the extended family also in a separate. So we actually do like 4 Christmases in 2 days when it's the immediate family and then the extended family on both days, and it's a lot.
Yeah. Matt, do you have you don't have to go full detail, but do you have a side of the family that you think will be cool if you need to make that decision?
There's definitely a side that I think would be less cool about it. But so my dad, I'll throw him under the bus. My mother-in-law is definitely tradition driven. But she's pretty cool, like especially post-teaching. Now that she's retired,
yeah, we're talking about this.
Now that she's retired, she's gotten way cooler. But my dad, now that he has this, like we bought this cabin, I'm here now. You see all the work. He's gonna want to make this like the tradition. We've done it twice now. Like he is going to be upset now, I think, if we don't do this. So normally I would say my family would be cool, but now I'm not so sure. He's retired. He's got this cabin. He's gonna be like, "What did I buy the cabin for if you're not gonna come up on Christmas, son?" That's what I'm hearing in the future.
Can I ask, of course, the question: is he around? Like, is he hearing you do this impersonation? Because you're obviously at that cabin.
He's upstairs. He probably would find that pretty good.
Levi and Plover chimes in. Hey, Jim and Matt and the greatest radio producer in the world, my boy Jesse Nelson.
Yeah, Levi.
Is this your burner account? I watched the NFL on Netflix yesterday and it went okay, in my opinion. I'm more of an NBA and Christmas Day guy. Me too. I can like the NBA and the NFL. I don't have to pick or choose, and I hate the NFL tries to make people do it. That's my own little note there. And I only watched my Lakers play the Warriors after football yesterday, and the NBA should always know that the NFL will be king. Absolutely, the NFL's king on this. I just don't know why the NFL has to bully. Like the Lakers, Warriors, and that was later. Like that was an amazing game. Like that's LeBron, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Draymond Green. Like it is the biggest names out there. And then you have a bunch of young stars playing early.
The biggest names of 2010 were playing at that moment.
Oh, okay.
No,
the NFL was dominated by Tom Brady up until 2 years ago.
He's got NBA takes now.
No, it was a little nostalgia bomb that they wanted to drop on people. Christmas is a nostalgia day.
That's what people want. Like,
yeah,
those
no,
are the
I thought
biggest
it was
names
great.
in the NBA. Yes.
I'm with you. I didn't watch it at all, but I thought it was great that LeBron was playing Steph. I thought that was fantastic.
All right. You can chime in on those things. And as well, we are asking you, what did you do on your Christmas? If you didn't travel with kids and everything, if you didn't have like an alternate Christmas, like if you didn't have the kids, you didn't have, that whole to-do. 844-770-3776. And I want to ask this one. Do you have a cool side of the family? 844-770-3776. This is Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your current car? Soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
The Harlem Globetrotters 2025 World Tour is here, bringing all the cool tricks and laughs fans love. We're coming to the Fiserv Forum on December 31st. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets to the 2025 World Tour, presented by Jersey Mike Subs.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 8 ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Lay's or Kettle Chips, 2 for $5. 18 to 80 count selected varieties Hefty Trash or Kitchen Bags, $7.99. 7.9 to 11.5 ounce selected varieties Bear Creek Dry Soup Mix, 2 for $7. 14.3 to 26 ounce selected varieties Farm Rich Appetizers, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
With free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Start the day with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
When you're paid like an A player, you have to play like an A player, not a B player, and he has never played like an A player.
On 94.5 ESPN, streaming on the Wisconsin On Demand app and on video at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. 10 Below. Friends call me Snow Miser.
Jim, Matt, and Molly on Wilde and Tausch continues. We're live from the Everlight Solar Studio. You can see us on ESPN Madison's YouTube. And Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton, Jesse Nelson with you. Asked a couple of different questions out there. Rome chimes in. Ron in Rome chimes in. Jesse, when you have kids, just alternate in-laws' house, and then you can take 1 year for yourself. So 1 year you go to your wife's parents, next year you go to your parents, next year you do it at home. If you have grandkids, you make the rules. That is a very good point. You do have all the power. It's just a matter of, do you want to flex that power? So we can definitely take calls on recommendations on how to navigate. I would say parents, this is a cycle that continues, and then we'll get to a call real quick too, but it's a cycle that continues that everyone complains about. My parents did it, and that's why my parents they're cool about it. So they never really make us try to see on the actual day. Because if home is where the heart is, the holiday is when you do the holiday. But regardless, they always hated having to drag us down to Illinois to see my grandparents, and we had to leave all the toys and nobody wanted to go, and it was just brutal. And then you go back and everyone's just spent, and then you don't get that whole Christmas feeling. You just get dragged all over the area, the region. And I think most people hated that, including as kids. And then they have kids of their own, and then they repeat the cycle. And so avoiding that cycle, I think, is important. So hopefully for both of you, for me too, that cycle has been broken, and it's nice. So hopefully that cycle will remain broken. I will say this. My wife 1 year tried to have our own Christmas. And we're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go see my grandma, my parents, the weekend before, and did a whole spiel, did a whole day down there. Just her and grandparents and the girls, to make cookies and all that kind of stuff. I didn't go, but then we hosted Christmas Eve, and then everyone did their own thing Christmas Day. My parents still were cool with us just not coming over, and we had a Christmas at home, and the guilt trip that was laid on her was unforgettable. Aww. So we've never done it again. Never again, and I thought it was more than fair. Everyone got more time than ever. But the guilt trip was intense. All right, let's get out to the phones, 844-770-3776. We got Matt in Madison as an empty nester on Christmas. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How about you?
Good. Merry Christmas, or Merry post-Christmas.
Ditto.
Yeah. My wife, we hosted on the 21st. We had 17 people over, so we had some lunch left over. And then yesterday, and then we hosted again on Christmas Eve for a smaller group. And then yesterday, my wife and I did a Lord of the Rings marathon.
Nice.
Kind of weird, but it was actually kind of nice. Took up the whole day, watched the whole series. It was actually quite nice, just hanging out on the couch with the dogs and just not really doing much.
I bet. My parents didn't do a Lord of the Rings marathon, but they hosted my brother and his wife and some of the people on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day, they had the day as well. I'm not sure exactly what they watched, but I know they just kind of watched TV all day and hung out, and they seemed pretty happy when we called them later in the day.
It was great. Yep, it was awesome. And then as far as the in-laws goes, we basically about 15 years ago, we invited my wife's parents to our Christmas. That way we don't have to multiply and go separate places all the time.
Yeah.
And it's made life so much easier, just kind of having everybody together, getting together, having a good time. So,
yeah, thanks for the call, Matt. I mean, that's the point. And again, that's what everyone should be offering. We'll come to you. You have the power. You have the grandkids. You have the only people that anyone really wants to see. And so they should all come to you. That is
Should we just be better at using them as bartering chips? Is that what you're saying? You should be like, hey, I've got some kids. You come to me.
Blackmail. Yeah.
You want to see them? Come here.
It's like the NFL. I got the goods. I'm going to let you see the goods whenever you want. The NFL's like, we're doing Christmas. Tough cookies. You could say, I got the babies. I got the goods. We're doing Christmas. Take it or leave it.
Interesting. Because we had the one texter say grandparents get to call the shots. Is that not the case?
Why would grandparents get to call the shots? This is insane.
Because they're the oldest. They're the elder statesmen.
Go pick them up, bring them over. You got the power. You got the babies.
What if they don't want it?
Also, can I, and I know this, and we got to get the break here, a little Festivus thing for me.
Oh, boy.
Can we stop?
Geez.
Can we just put a moratorium on pretending every grandparent's going to die at Christmas? I hate that. Like this whole you're not going to come to Christmas. This could be Grandma's last Christmas. Grandma's 70. Why do you kill Grandma every Christmas? Like that to me is such a mean, rude, horrible thing to do, and everyone does it. Every house, if you miss a birthday, Grandma could be dead next birthday. So can anyone else. Can we not? Like, it is so horrible. And you're laughing, both of you, because you know that everyone does it. And it's insane. At no other point does any other part in the world outside of holidays where it's okay to just, hypothetically kill off a relative.
Jim, it's just the funny part is that we all think this, but no one's going to say it out loud on the radio.
Well, I am, and people I think agree with me. Jack and Madison chimes in. My wife was an only child, and her parents are dead, so that solves that problem. So there, Jack's got it made. 844-770-3776. We'll take your calls and texts on the other side.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Ho, ho, my back.
Santa?
Ho, ho, Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
Bring in 2025 at American Place Casino. Join us for the Oztacular Countdown featuring $50,000 promotional drawings, merchandise giveaways, live entertainment, and more. They say seeing is believing, and at American Place Casino, you'll believe you found a real game changer. From table games to the hottest slots, plus dining, bars, and more, we've got it all. This New Year's Eve, let the celebration begin. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Jim, Matt, and Molly take over of Wilde and Tausch. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. You can see us on the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube page. Matt Hamilton in the Outback. I'm in the Everlight Solar Studio, rocking my Home Alone sweatshirt. I will, in honor, I think I said this at the top of every hour, I will turn on the lights for a little bit. So I got flashing lights on my Home Alone sweatshirt in the festive season today. I don't know if we call it festive or not, Matt Hamilton. We got a couple questions out to people. One, what did you do on your honeymoon that you won't do again? Again, radio friendly. Matt Hamilton rode horses around the ocean. I went to a nude beach. And we'll take calls on weird things you did on your honeymoon. Also, what did you do on a childless Christmas? And I wanted to kind of spin it. It's been spinning more to two other points, Matt Hamilton. One, and Zach in Milwaukee chimes in, what do you suggest to Matt and Jesse as far as whenever they become parents, what will they do? How do they handle the holidays? We're taking suggestions on that. And then I have a take that I guess it's my Festivus take. We need to stop killing off relatives every holiday season with this, like, hey, you better come because this is the power struggle. It really comes between, like, you have said grandkids. Grandparents want you to come see them. Grandparents never say this, but it's usually your parents saying this about their parents. Hey, 61-year-old grandpa might die whenever, so you got to see him on Christmas. Yet grandpa never can make the ride over to your house. It always has to be to their house because that is the power play. That's the power struggle. It's like life and death. It's full circle. You got youth, you got babies,
Jim, if you can't make
and then
it
you got
to next Christmas,
you got the tease of death on the other side.
If you can't make it to next Christmas, how is he going to make it all the way to your place?
Pick him up. 844-770-3776. We got a couple more calls coming in here. Before we get to those, Zach in Milwaukee, we are expecting our first in June, and my mom moved back to Wisco earlier this year, so it was a big adjustment with having to do both sides for the first time. And it was hard for him and his wife's relationship, and it was exhausting for a few days. We're planning on having a new house that'll be hostable, and we'll be telling both sides, here's where we are, feel free to come over. It's going to go undeniably terrible, but that's the plan. Fight the good fight, Zach, because honestly, everyone in this circle of life we're talking about, whether grandparents or your parents, had small children. They remember how annoyed they got when their parents tried to kill off their grandparents. And then they also remember what a pain in the butt it is to try to drag young children all over the place who want no part of seeing you and wear the clothes that you're wearing. They want to play with their toys and enjoy their day. Instead, they're getting dragged all over the place. You should be coming. It should just be a boomer sort of thing. Hey, we're going to go to you. But boomers got to make everything about them. All right, Mike in Kenosha, 844-770-3776.
Matt wants nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I think the grandparents have something that nobody else has in any given family. That's seniority.
Okay, but then why wouldn't you be benevolent and say, we'll come to you because we remember how horrible this was?
Well, you got to schedule it. My family was convoluted like that for years. My parents had 4 kids. When we were little, it was we stayed in the nucleus family, and we would go to Grandma's house, but that was a 4-hour drive away, so we would end up spending like a week there. Sometimes Christmas was included, sometimes it wasn't, depending on what day of the week Christmas fell on.
And go on.
And my grandparents, they had 6 kids, so I had lots of cousins. It was impossible to see everybody in a week, like at Christmas time. But the thing was, we did get together. We did try to say hi, and we used to send Christmas cards to each other.
And it sounds like, though, you're accommodating. That's a Christmas week. That is trying to make time around scheduling and all that. And thanks for the call. I'm talking more of the militant, you got to see on Christmas Day, got to see on Christmas Eve. That's the part that's unfair. Because I am very pro, hey, make it work with everyone's family, make it work on the time, but let's not get caught up on the actual day. Let's get caught up in the idea of we want to spend time. And that, to me, if people are making time to go see grandma and grandpa and they see them the 23rd, why are we getting guilted for the 25th? And let's get out 844-770-3776. We have Ron in Rome as well.
Hi, I think everybody should do what's best for their own family. But I think it's funny. I gave that text about alternating and that. But when you said, why do they play the grandma might be dead next year? I think that's funny coming from a bunch of sports guys who say you can't bunt because there's a 1% less chance that you'll score a run. And you guys are using sabermetrics and analytics. It's a pretty good damn chance that I'm going to be dead next year because I'm 68 and my kids are all in their late 30s and 40s. But
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'll say, but do you like being like used as a ploy like that? Because it's usually never the person who's 68. It's someone else doing that on your behalf. Like I've never had a grandparent being like, I might be dead next year.
My wife and I don't use that, but we do use it on like my mother-in-law, who's 92. There's a pretty good chance she's not going to be around next year.
Analytics.
And again, well, to the analytics side of it, now the big part of it is because my stickler point is it's the actual holiday. Like if we, like again, I'll use examples of you go see family, let's say the 23rd. They still get that family time. You still get that Christmas time. It's just the actual day gets really hard with young kids because they want to play with all the toys from Santa. They don't want to be dragged around the state. They're little kids. They don't want to travel that much. So that's kind of my main take on it.
Well, I'm Jewish, so
there you go.
We have our lunar calendar. Our holidays are all over the place.
Right.
It's unusual that we happen to fall Hanukkah on Christmas this year.
Yeah.
So we time shift holidays all the time. I mean, we just are like, this holiday's then, but nobody can make it. Let's celebrate it next week.
So Ron, you're the cool one. Yes, that's the cool way to do it. We're just trying to be within a vicinity of the holiday to have family time together, and I think that's the ideal.
Well, the best way to get your kids to visit you on holidays is to work your ass off and buy a house on a lake, but that's getting harder and harder to do, but we did it 25 years ago.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Ron. And look, Matt, that's what Matt's dad did. I don't know if it's on a lake, but you have a cabin up north, and, that's the destination now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to say, I think my uncle did it best. Like, he lived in Minneapolis away from family, but his wife's family was kind of near there. He just said, he laid down the law. He's like, I am going to alternate every year. I'm going to do Thanksgiving with one family and Christmas with the other. And then the next year, I'm flipping it. And nobody questioned it because he just laid down the law. Like, this is how it's going to be. We are going to see family on these days, but it's not going to be everybody because it's hours and hours of driving in between. So he just, every other year you get Thanksgiving or Christmas with my uncles and my cousins. And I was like, that's just the way it is.
And that's the way to do it. And I guess that's my point.
So that's the key, is lay down the law immediately.
But, I guess, because...
he waited until he had kids to lay down the law, too.
Right. But also, I think it's on, and I will push my wife on this when we have grandkids, of we can't be those folks. If the kids want to see us... If we do, I think for a little bit we did New Year's with my parents. So if the kids if we want, we'll do that as our holiday. That would be we'll share gifts and we'll do New Year's Eve with the family. We'll have some champagne and we'll share gifts and we'll do all that together. So that's one option too. You could have the holiday. It's the stickler on the date and the guilt if the date doesn't work on the actual Christmas Eve and Christmas Day that I find insane, especially with then the threat of killing off grandparents. Because if you're making time, whether it's the weekend before, a couple days before, whatever fits your schedule, to have that time with family, that's what is supposed to matter, not the actual day. That's selfish. That's doing it for you. Of I want this, I want to see the grandkids, open presents, and they have to do it on Christmas Day because I'm the most important person in the world. Not them. Because they don't want to be there. It's me. I'm the most important person in the world. That to me is what has ended up happening. As opposed to, hey, as long as we're making time and we have it planned out and we're going to see each other around the holiday and we're going to all get together and have that holiday joy together, we're good. That's the normal good way to handle it. Before we go to break, we got what Matt missed coming up in a second here, but 608 chimes in. Hey guys, fun show today. We are the grandparents currently driving 11 hours Traverse City, Minneapolis, to see grandkids. You're correct. Our kids, with their kids, call the shots, and we're okay with that. Let's give them a round of applause, because that is what we're looking for.
Here's
that
the
is
thing,
what we're looking for.
Those kids are going to want to go to Traverse City eventually. That is an amazing place in Michigan. Amazing. So they'll figure it out. Maybe it might not be winter time, but they're going to get plenty of grandkids time in Traverse City because that town is incredible.
And they're going to have the memory of being able to wake up. They do the Christmas. Grandparents are there, and then you just get to be around, and the grandparents get to see what Santa brought and have the kids play with it all, and everyone's so happy. That is what we want. We're going to fix Christmas. 844-770-3776. We're going to play What Matt Missed next.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, Those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution, bringing
Playoff spot? Check. Now the green and gold look to make one more statement before the regular season ends.
Obviously, we lost them early in the season, so one of these games that we got to get back. We got to go win this game, and we got to be able to beat these good teams.
Prepare for the Packers-Vikings with Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Tune in Sunday morning at 9 right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube page.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you are planning to visit the great city of Milwaukee, you can enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Guys, when my pals come in from ESPN to stay in our great city, guess where they stay? St. Kate. Why? Because it's got deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture. Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. It's simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. And again, you can win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN show streaming on video. Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
A few different things, including stop killing off grandparents. We don't need the guilt to go see people around the holidays. Stop being sticklers on the specific day of Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. It's the holiday season. Try to make life easier for those, especially those ones with little kids who really want to spend most of their time opening up all their presents from Santa. The older you get, Matt, you said your Christmas now is very similar to what it's been, where you open up presents from Santa and then you head out. But you're an adult and you can deal with it. The kids, let's let them have their time to play with their new toys. Jesse Nelson behind the glass in Everlight Solar Studio. He is fighting through some sort of sickness, and thankfully, on many levels, he stayed behind the glass. So he's here basically in name only, Matt. So you didn't have to avoid this. I know you said you didn't want to come in today because Jesse was going to be producing, but it was a waste. You could have been here with me.
It's pretty rude.
Matt's apparently microphone.
He's muted. Yeah, he'll figure it out.
Anyways, all right. Well, hopefully Matt unmutes because we're going to play. Hey,
we got it.
I bet you said something really good.
I bet that was his best zinger of the day. Too bad we'll never hear it.
Yeah, it was. That's right. It was just for me.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's play what Matt missed.
Context is important.
Oh, man.
Except when you're an Olympic gold medalist.
Honestly, I have no idea who it is. Here we go, yo. Obviously, he's talking about, maybe.
It's time for What Matt Missed on Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Leinenkugel's. Flavor the moment.
Yeah, guys, so Matt Hamilton, as we've documented in the 9 o'clock hour of the show this morning, not particularly up to speed on the happenings of the sports world. Is that a fair representation of you, Matt?
Nah, lately.
Just the last 2 years. You've been
you've been doing the show, what, 2.5 years, 3 years?
We dabble. But we do focus on the Packers more than a lot of the other things.
So I have collected 3 sound clips, and I'd like for you to identify who is speaking. And then if you have an opinion on what they're talking about, I'd love to hear it. It'd be great if you could elaborate a little bit on some compelling content. So here, Matt Hamilton, is clip number 1.
Obviously, you have to tip your cap to the Lions, just persevering through all these injuries. They don't want to hear about it, but they are a very banged-up team. And then you've got Minnesota and you've got Green Bay. I think any one of those 3, you could realistically say, and add Philly, obviously, but in this division alone, any one of those 3 could represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, and you wouldn't be surprised at all.
NFC playoff picture, crowd in the background. Matt, this should be a layup. Who is that?
It sounded like just one of the normal announcers from every week football. Was that like it?
Matt.
Yeah. I know. I feel like I should get this one. So it probably wasn't, but I'm just gonna say Joe Buck.
Hallelujah! It's a Christmas miracle.
Also, don't preface it. If you're gonna be wrong, just be wrong. Because if you luck in the right, you're right. If you said
totally
it's Joe
fine.
Buck.
No, I feel like he hates the Packers, so I tune him out.
Oh my God,
you're one of those.
Yeah. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman hate the Packers.
He just complimented how good the Packers looked, and they're legit contenders along with those other teams in the NFC.
It's called a quota. Otherwise, you're obviously biased. He's got a number he's trying to hit.
You're a Reddit guy. I guarantee if you go to any team's Reddit, they're going to be complaining about Joe Buck.
Yeah, that might be the case, but I'm not going to go to another team's Reddit because I'm a Packer fan.
Every fan base is used to their local play-by-play guys throwing flowers at their feet throughout, no matter what is going on. So then when you hear someone being impartial, you're like, they hate us. And I guarantee every fan base thinks that.
That might be true, but this is my reality, Jim. Let me live my reality.
You only live in your reality.
Cowboy Matt's reality. All right.
Giddy up, Jesse.
Clip number 2. If you struggled with Joe Buck, I don't know how you're going to get this one. So let's see if you can identify what athlete is saying this after a bad loss.
Just embarrassing loss. I put it on myself. Played not good at all, in my opinion. Just didn't have any answers. Got to go make more plays, protect the ball, and just got to be better.
Pretty downtrodden.
Right.
Any guess who that was, Matt?
Sounded like a quarterback.
It is a quarterback.
I don't think.
What if I told you he was in the same building as Joe Buck on Monday night?
I was going to guess maybe Spencer Rattler.
Yeah!
Good Lord, if you didn't get that, I don't know who else would be talking.
Here's the thing. I was leaning Spencer before the giveaway clue from Jesse, but, I also had Bo Nix. Yes. Bo Nix was in my ear, too, so it was close.
Bo Nix?
Why Bo Nix was in your ear?
I have no idea. This just popped into my head.
Basically, the voice of, like, 3 quarterbacks. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, and the rest is all guess. All guesswork.
For the most part.
Okay.
It's close.
All right. Okay.
One last one, timely, based on the last 24 hours. You've heard this voice before, I'm sure. Let's see if you can identify who said this.
It's been a tough road, obviously, the past 3 weeks. We haven't been able to overcome some of the challenges along the way. We got to make that a good thing for us. At the end of the day, when you look back at it all, and hope, when we get the chance to play in the playoffs, it becomes 0-0. That's the truth of the playoffs and the opportunity that we have. And so I think that before we get there, though, is that our belief can't waver. Matter of fact, if anything, we got to turn it up even more on our belief. And I think that's a key part to how we respond in the midst of adversity.
Who is it, Matt?
And that came within the last 24 hours.
It did.
The blank stare from Matt Hamilton.
You were watching football on Netflix yesterday.
He said you've heard it plenty of times.
Right. No, I mean, was that Matt LaFleur? That wasn't Matt LaFleur.
Why would he be on Netflix yesterday?
I don't know. Not on Netflix yesterday, but there's constantly stuff going on.
Heck? You thought that was Matt LaFleur?
No, but I felt like when Jim's like, you've heard this guy multiple times, he's guiding me down the wrong path.
It's a former Badger.
Spoken a lot of cliches.
Is a quarterback for a team that played yesterday?
Russell?
Yes.
I thought that was a coach for sure.
He sounds like a coach.
He
It's
does.
been a tough road, obviously, the past 3 weeks. We haven't been able to overcome some
Now
of the
that you
challenges.
say Russell, it sounds more like Russell than I thought. I didn't think it sounded like Matt LaFleur. I just thought like maybe he had a cold like Jesse.
I
might have got it from Jason.
I could get it's like a loose LaFleur sort of, but the clues that were given.
No, exactly.
We were leading you.
Like,
it's the holiday season,
me.
Matt. I was trying to set you up for success here in your big, multi-market opportunity to play this game.
I'm gonna be honest. 2 out of 3 is pretty good.
It's really
well, yeah. I mean,
no.
It's like you got a 90 on a test, but you were
just because I hemmed and hawed doesn't mean, and you gave me a clue doesn't mean that I didn't get it. I still got the first 2.
You were taking a test with the answers next to you, and it still took you a very long time to get the answer.
You got a 66% with an open note test.
Yeah, but we're probably grading on a curve, so I feel like
if we're grading on a curve, you're doing much worse because everyone else is acing that test.
No. That's pretty tough. That was tough, dude. That was hard.
I love the last little bit where you misunderstand the curve. Like, it's basically Matt's just like a Hamilton curve. It just you swoop down and pick me up and lift me up. Like that.
This curve's in my favor. Right. I just assume if I'm not good at it, nobody's going to be good at it.
That applies for curling and curling only. That's just. I would say that's how I would look at it, Matt.
Yeah.
With all due respect.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. That was what Matt missed. We have. I feel like our callers are going to do better at trivia than Matt Hamilton. We got that coming up.
Definitely.
Yeah, we got that next segment, right?
Sure, let's do it next.
All right. I'm just trying to get
Matt
back.
loves trivia. We got to get
us back on the sheet here because Matt is a big fan of sheets of ice. This is Jim. This is Jim, Matt, and Holly.
Well, hey, let's ask for our caller.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
You don't know how this works. It's okay. That's all right. So we'll take caller number 10 right now at 844-770-3776. Caller number 10 and the category today, which we're going to talk about, I think, after trivia.
Okay.
Fool's Gold of Wisconsin Sports. Ooh. Fool's Gold of Wisconsin Sports. One of our teammates at ESPN Wisconsin was getting pounded on social media after being retweeted by Sam Decker the other day, calling one of the classic Wisconsin sports teams Fool's Gold.
Interesting. I have Sam Decker muted, so I wouldn't have seen it.
So we'll talk about that coming up after we play trivia. But yeah, let's play trivia next. Caller 10, 844-770-3776. Fool's Gold of Wisconsin Sports.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Tito.
Ho, my back.
Santa?
Gina Dello from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Q Myers.
Kirk Cousins is in a good scenario, and I'll explain why. One, I think teams will be in a good position because there's still going to be money that's guaranteed to Kirk Cousins that Atlanta's ultimately going to eat, similar to what we saw Denver do when they moved on from Russell Wilson. This draft, Gabe, is not deep in quarterback. It's just not. There's two guys that are basically being pegged as first-round selections, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. There's teams that need quarterbacks, and there's teams that might not be able to go and get one of those two guys, and they might not be in love with the rest of the guys in the draft class. So you look at Kirk Cousins, who, as you mentioned, looked good coming off the torn Achilles early, faded towards the end of the season. Now he's going to be rested because he's not playing. He's going to be a year removed from the Achilles. He's probably going to be able to sign somewhere cheap. He might end up being a starting quarterback in 2025 for a team that ultimately can't get who they really wanted.
FX's Say Nothing.
We thought joining the IRA was the noblest thing a person could do.
Northern Ireland, 1971.
They could beat us, they could shoot us, but the one thing they could never get us to do was talk.
Based on the true story and the New York Times bestseller.
You were taught that you were fighting in the name of the people. And I think people should know that it's all lies.
FX's Say Nothing. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
The Harlem Globetrotters 2025 World Tour is here, bringing all the cool tricks and laughs fans love. We're coming to the Fiserv Forum on December 31st. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for tickets to the 2025 World Tour, presented by Jersey Mike Subs.
Experience the excellence of Catholic Memorial High School for yourself. Come see why their students gain a competitive edge at CMH. Visit CatholicMemorial.net to schedule a VIP tour or student shadow day. Meet their inspiring teachers, welcoming students, and feel the energy of the CMH culture. All students achieve more than they ever imagined possible. Visit CatholicMemorial.net to schedule your visit. That's CatholicMemorial.net. Catholic Memorial High School in Waukesha, where you rise.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit AdamsPower.com today.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee.
Songs make me think of movies. This one makes me think of, I believe, Home Alone is what's popping in my head. And I love that about music, especially the holiday season. They definitely tie to specific songs. We're going to get to trivia in a second. Matt Hamilton, Jim Rutledge with you. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Well, I am. You can see Matt Hamilton on the ESPN Wisconsin YouTube page, ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube. Matt's got his Indiana Jones hat on because he thinks it's Halloween. We got Jesse Nelson with me at the Everlight Solar Studio. He is playing through being sick, at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison, at Hams Curl on Twitter. You can follow me on Threads, which is JR ESPN Wisconsin, or on Blue Sky at Jim Rutledge. I'm also on the other side as well. But let's get to Wilde and Tausch trivia.
Jim, you hate trivia, right? I just want to state that for the record
and
once and for all.
A quick cliff notes to it. It's nothing against anyone specific. It's just I work. It's defunct now, Damon Sports Bar. People would come in, play the blue trivia game on the box, and leave horrible tips. And they were just like the most annoying people ever. They'd be like, just a pro tip. If you're somewhere for like 4 hours, you need to tip on 4 hours of not flipping the table. Otherwise, you're just a jerk. And I never got tipped on not flipping the table for 4 hours. You sit there, leave me 20%, but I got $10. Thanks, pal.
And with that, we welcome in a first-time contestant to Wilde and Tausch Trivia. It is Tracy in West Bend, who's very excited to play and is going to tip us well at the end. Tracy, good morning and happy holidays. How you doing?
Good morning, you guys. Happy holidays, too.
Matt loves trivia, so Matt,
I do.
You get to ask all of the questions today. I hope you would know at least one of the answers to the questions that you're asking if you would be answering them yourself. Doubtful, though.
No, I think I would get at least 2 of these. I probably wouldn't get question 3, so good luck on question 3.
All right, Matt, go ahead. Take it away with Tracy in West Bend.
All right, Tracy, good luck. Question 1. Which San Francisco 49ers kicker, formerly of the Chicago Bears, kicked the game-winning field goal to eliminate the number 1 seed Packers in the divisional round in 2021-2022 NFL playoffs? Was it A?
Robbie Gould.
Robbie Gould?
Good as gold.
Let's pass it along. Let's move it along. Yeah. Very good.
Didn't
Excellent
even need
work.
the options. Impressive showing.
Which is too bad because George Blando was an excellent option.
Do you know who Eddie Pinheiro is, Matt Hamilton?
Also a kicker.
Great.
Yes. What infamous play was Eddie Pinheiro part of during his Chicago Bears kicking tenure?
Oh, is he the double doink? I thought that was...
He's not the double doink.
Oh, he wasn't?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I thought he... Who was?
Oh,
Was that Santos?
No, it's Cody or something like that.
Cody Parkey.
Yes, that's what it is.
Cody
Yeah.
Parkey.
I blocked it out, but I know it was not
Dang
Eddie
it.
Pinheiro.
All right.
My bad.
All right. Question 2.
Matt's smarter than me now.
Question 2 for Tracy. Which opponent eliminated the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks from the NBA playoffs during the COVID restart in the Orlando bubble in 2020? Was it A, the Boston Celtics, B, the Miami Heat, or C, the Toronto Raptors?
I think the Miami Heat.
Nailed it. And those are the 2 I would have got too. So here's the big question. Question 3. All right, here we go. The 2006-2007 Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team earned the program's first AP number 1 ranking in school history. But as the number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, lost in the second round to which opponent? Is it A, the UNLV Running Rebels? Was it B, Davidson? Don't know what the mascot was. Or C, Cornell?
Oh, I'll say Cornell.
All 3 of these teams bounced Wisconsin at some point. But it wasn't Cornell that year.
You want? It's 50-50 shot now. UNLV or Davidson? You want to take a crack at it?
Nope, I guess he doesn't.
UNLV.
Yeah, it was UNLV. It was UNLV. Brian Butch got hurt down the stretch of that season, and it totally changed the landscape of that Wisconsin men's basketball team that year. So 2 out of 3 means you have 3 of the possible 4 entries. Tracy, we will draw our winner for an ESPN Wisconsin prize pack tomorrow night. Thanks so much for tuning in the day after Christmas, and hope you have a great rest of your holiday week.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now back to you, Jim Rutledge.
So that one I did not know because 06, 07, I was in Florida, and believe it or not, Badger basketball, not huge down there. And
what?
That team, I literally don't have any recollection of anyone on the team. I mean, I know who Brian Butch is, so obviously. I just don't remember specifically that team. But the UNLV team they lost to was Lon Kruger. I remember that name, his former Illinois coach. But Joel Anthony was on the UNLV team.
Oh, really?
He's on the roster here. 06, 07 UNLV running Rebels.
Interesting.
They were 30-7 that year.
What do you think of Joel Anthony's career, Matt?
Underperformed. Could have been better.
And so the part that I had, actually, you could not be, side note, you couldn't be more wrong.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was waiting for.
Just flip it. Like, what a great success story for him. I was in Florida. I worked for ESPN West Palm. We were the home of the Florida Gators. And that was their first of 2 NCAA championships. They had I think his first name was Mick or something like that. They had an amazing play-by-play guy who did play-by-play for the football team, which was also winning that time, and the basketball team. But that basketball team, Billy Donovan, the coach, Joakim Noah, Al Horford.
Al
Corey
Horford's
Brewer.
still going.
Yeah, and then there was one other good player on that team. So, like, that was honestly, and I was around it, might have been because they won back-to-back titles.
They were so good.
The best college basketball team I may have seen. The old school UNLV running Rebels with Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon and Greg Anthony were pretty good too, but this team was, I mean, that team was loaded. They were all good college basketball players, and obviously Horford had a heck of a career. Ronnie Brewer was solid. Joakim Noah had a good run. He just got hurt. So, I mean, that was a heck of a team there. But, Matt, how would you have done on that, honestly, out of those 3?
I would have got the first 2.
I don't believe you. I think you got Robbie Gold.
I definitely would have got Robbie Gold, and the second one was obvious. I definitely would have gotten the Heat because they ended up losing to LeBron in the final, I believe.
What? Yes.
Year?
The Lakers.
Yeah.
Yes, the Lakers lost to the Heat in the final of that. Yes.
Right. So I'm pretty sure I would have got that one.
It's always amazing the things you do know and the things you don't know. It's fascinating to me.
Honestly, my wife was talking to me about that the other day, and we were listening to just music, and I was able to pull the song, pull the name. And then there was a pretty popular one that came on that I just had no clue. And she's like, I have no idea how your brain works.
He just wanted to flex that Matt loves to be the guy who doesn't, he goes out of his way not to know popular things so he can be the guy that only knows obscure things. But the thing is, most people who know obscure things also know the popular things and choose not to like it. It's Matt's identity. He just says, I don't like it on the point that it's popular. Look, man, if you're making money, you're selling out.
I don't think that's entirely true, but I don't think the premise, the groundwork you laid, is not entirely wrong.
Matt, I love you. You have you're 75% hipster, which you just got a lot of hipster tendencies, and that's one of them. Would be I'm just going to assume if it's popular, it's not good. For music, for other things, you might be all in on it. Shoes, you're in, but.
Music? Popular music, I like. It was more of the classics that we were listening to in the car too. By the way, it was top 100 songs of all time kind of.
And you didn't know those?
No, that's the thing is I knew most of them, but when they had a newer one, I was like, I don't know who this is. Didn't matter. Doesn't matter, Jim.
It does. It really matters to you. You just wanted to bring up that obscure.
You brought it
up. Knowledge.
Yeah, no, this obscure.
Jesse brought it up.
Or my wife said, I'm a super big music guy.
I'm pretty smart.
No, my wife said she has no idea how my brain works either. I was just corroborating Jesse's thesis that you know random things and things that we think you should know. You are absolutely helpless. And that's accurate.
I want to get to the Packers-Vikings game, but I also, do you guys think, and we'll answer this on the other side, I feel like the Bears and the Packers are going to play on Saturday.
I do too.
I think that's going to get flexed. And I kind of want to know what everyone feels about that. We can talk about that on the other side. 844-770-3776. I'm Jim Rutledge. He's Matt Hamilton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly Takeover of Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
This offense, Matt LaFleur's side of the ball, dragged this whole team through where they are right now.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
The defense got hot at the right time. That might be what we're seeing here with the Packers defense as well.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
'Tis the season of giving. Ho, ho, ho! At your nearby Milwaukee metro region, Hunis Auto Group dealerships. Hunis is the area's #1 rated car, truck, SUV, and EV holiday headquarters. During our exclusive Season of Savings sales event, we're offering our biggest discounts of the year on our entire inventory of America's best-selling brands from Buick and GMC at nearby Hunis locations in both Oak Creek and Greenfield. Thinking pre-owned? Your local Hunis dealership has the area's biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids, starting as low as $39.95 and payments as low as $199 per month. We're paying above top Kelly Blue Book values on all trade-ins, no matter the mileage or condition. Now that's giving even Santa would be proud of. Ho, ho, ho! Our huge Season of Savings sales event is going on now, exclusively at your nearby Milwaukee metro region Hunis Auto Group dealerships or online at shophunis.com. From the Hunis Auto Group family to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
'Tis the season for celebrating, so why not make your holiday gathering unforgettable? Give your team or clients an experience they'll talk about long after the new year with V Private Bar Services. Forget the same old office party. With custom cocktails tailored to your brand and a top-notch mixologist team, V Private Bar Services brings the magic of a high-end bar to your event. Make this holiday season extraordinary. Visit vprivatebar.com to book your premier party today. That's vprivatebar.com for your next unforgettable event.
Football fans, get ready to elevate your game day experience. Milwaukee Broadhouse downtown has the ultimate package for stress-free fun this football season. With rides starting at $85 per person, hop on their round-trip buses from Milwaukee Broadhouse downtown for every green and gold home game. Enjoy all you can drink on the ride and a private restroom. Want even more? Upgrade your ticket and add on an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate package for an additional $30. Spots are filling up fast. Book today at MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com. Milwaukee Broadhouse, located on MLK Drive downtown.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 8-ounce selective varieties Frito-Lay Lays or Kettle Chips, 2 for $5. 18 to 80-count selective varieties Hefty Trash or Kitchen Bags, $7.99. 7.9 to 11.5-ounce selective varieties Bear Creek Dry Soup Mix, 2 for $7. 14.3 to 26-ounce selective varieties Farm Rich Appetizers, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal, free groceries.
Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
We're free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
Kyle Bruston Northman.
For sure. No,
Yeah.
Brad. No, Kyle.
KBN.
If this is good Jordan Love, I'm officially concerned for the future of the team.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee, 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
Again, with my Home Alone shirt on, this also took place in Home Alone where Kevin sets up all of the characters. Why he had all those characters and life-size figurines and mannequins in the house is beyond me. We'll just suspend disbelief for many reasons on Home Alone. It might be the number one movie, Home Alone 1 and 2, where you just have to suspend all understandings of the real world. Jesse Nelson with me in the Everlight Solar studio. I am Jim Rutledge. Matt Hamilton out in the Outback wearing his Indiana Jones hat and his whereabouts somewhere up north. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly takeover of Wilde and Tausch. You can get in the show 844-770-3776. We've been talking Christmas and Matt's horrible takes of that he doesn't like live concerts and he thinks a pick six is better than a safety. Yeah.
Speaking of horrible takes, I'm curious which Home Alone you think is better, 1 or 2?
I don't think either one to be a horrible take, but I actually enjoy Home Alone 2 better.
Interesting.
Because
I think it's the right answer.
It's Home Alone. It's Home Alone 1 because it's all the same jokes and like all the same timing, everything the same. It's just done with a little bit more. They just know what they're doing a little bit more. So everyone's just a little bit more cooked in the role. Macaulay Culkin's a little bit older. He understands the role a little bit more. Pesci, Stern. They brought everyone back. The hotel setup was fun. They had Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter's in it. You have Tim Curry in it. You have all these great actors into it.
Donald Trump cameo.
Yes, he forced himself into it. He would not let them use the hotel unless he was in it because he is obsessed with popularity.
But if I had a hotel and someone wanted to shoot a movie in it, I would also be like, can I be in it?
I'm glad you have that in common. Because most people don't. But good. If you want to associate yourself with like that's fantastic.
You wouldn't want to be in a movie if they wanted to film in your house, Jim?
Only if they wanted me in it. I wouldn't force myself into it. But that's not neither here nor there. I would say this. The Bears-Packers game is, I think, a strong likelihood to be flexed from Sunday to Saturday, and I'll be honest, you could just flex it off the schedule for all I care. You could just simulate the rest of the season. I just wanted to get over, as a Bears fan, if you are tuning in to the show, you're unaware, as a Bears fan, I literally just want Caleb to get out healthy. He's the only bright spot. Now, the Bears have one of the things you need to win. They need a coach, and they need an offensive line, and they probably need a more cohesive, maybe new owner, but at least they got a quarterback. They've used to have none of those things. And now they got one of those things. And so I just want him to get through the end of the season healthy. That's literally the only thing I care about. Like, if the Bears decided last game of the season and Caleb wouldn't be okay with it, hey, we're just going to play Tyson Bagent. We don't want to injure our franchise on the last game of the season. It carries no weight for us. In fact, if we win, it's actually worse for us because we get a worse draft pick. For me, I'd be fine with it. So moving the game to Saturday, I want to ask you, the Packers fans, 844-770-3776. What do you think of the idea of Packers and Bears getting flexed to a Saturday? Especially, that's a home game. So people are trying to, people might want to go and see the Bears-Packers play the last game of the year and plan for a Sunday, and then it gets moved to a Saturday. It's not official. It just feels like if it wasn't the Bears-Packers rivalry, it would 100% be flexed because, especially if the Packers lose to the Vikings, which we'll talk about next segment, this game means nothing to anyone.
I do like the idea of a flex to Saturday, though, especially with the Packers clinching the playoff berth. It's an extra day. It's an extra day of recovery. So regardless of, my feelings of, it's rivalry day, it's got to be played on Sunday, last game of the year, I think I'm throwing all of the tradition and feel out the window for the analytical and wisest move, what's best for the football team kind of play. And it's that's playing on Saturday and getting an extra day potentially before your playoff games.
Right. But you're not going to the game. That to me is the reason why it's an issue, is that if you have tickets, you might plan for it. Packer fans, I throw a lot of shade and I have a lot of fun at the cheeseheads and the pieces of paper that cost hundreds of dollars. But you guys going to Lambeau is a big deal, and planning that trip out to go to Lambeau, whenever that is, it is at times for a lot of Packer fans, it's a once a year thing at best, and you might be trying to, whatever the reasons. Now, Saturday, Sunday shouldn't matter for some, but it could. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of people have to work on a Saturday, and they always keep Sundays off to go to the game. So for me, it's more of the what it would do to the fan side of things more than for the team. Because one day, I get what you're saying, but playing at 3 o'clock on Saturday or noon on Sunday is not a dramatic difference. And realistically, if everything very well could be if they play on Saturday, everything's wrapped up for them anyway. So I don't know who is playing for the Packers in that game. But to me, it's just more the idea of Packer fans are really going to get the short end of the stick, moving a game on a Sunday Lambeau, last one of the year, to a Saturday.
Right. No, for sure. I totally agree with you. But I was going at it more the analytical side.
Yeah.
Purely as a fan who's not going to the game, it makes sense for Saturday.
Those 8 hours make a big difference. All right, Chad Madison.
They do.
What are your thoughts on this, Chad?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Chad.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you. You hear me?
Perfect, awesome, yeah. No, I think it's a good idea, actually, because, you don't got much college football, so it's good to have that, and you're gonna pull two markets. You're gonna pull the Bears market, you're gonna pull the Packers market. But as a fan, from that base and that standpoint, it's a big deal driving from Madison or Milwaukee to go up to Green Bay. And Green Bay is not a big area, so most of the people that are coming there are from out of town. They're not sitting there, So you have to make a big deal out of it. I'll tell you this, on a Sunday game, when you're going to a Sunday game, you have to make it a big deal because most of the time they're at night. You got a 3:30 game, great, but you have to plan all of that, and it's a tough drive on the way back. So I'll say this, at least you have the Sunday off. You don't have to take Monday off work. So I'll just say that and leave it there if you guys need.
That's a good point, Chad. Thanks for the call, 844-770-3776. What are your thoughts on the Packers-Bear game possibly being moved to Saturday? To me, it makes sense. The only reason it wouldn't be is because of the rivalry. I just worry about the Packer fans. Again, I like to have some fun at it, but Packer fans are diehard fans, and it is at times, like we just had Christmas. People could be getting that game for Christmas, that Sunday, and I just don't – there are a decent amount of people, because we go places on Saturday – in our lives, and people have to work on a Saturday. It gets moved from a Sunday to a Saturday. That could jam it up for them. And Chad brought a point. He didn't reference it, but it made me think about hotels. And you're staying over, and what are you planning for? So if it's a Saturday game, do you check in? I don't know what time they'd play on Saturday, but do you check in early to a hotel? I mean, there are positives to it, but there are plenty of people that this could really jam up their opportunity to see the Packers in person once in a season. Dustin in Waukesha, 844-770-3776. Dustin, what's your thoughts on this?
Thanks for taking my call. I'm totally up for the flex because of a couple reasons. One, I love the NFL, so I get to watch all the other games on Sunday. Two, the Packers get an extra day of rest before the playoffs because we don't know if we're going to have to play on a Saturday or a Sunday yet in the wild card round. So anything that can help our team, help them be healthy, give them an extra day of rest, we got to think team first on that way. So,
okay, thanks for the call. I don't know, and again, I don't know how they figure out the Saturday, Sunday.
Jim, we need caveats. For anyone who's calling in, I'd also like to know if you have tickets to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're like me just watching, I think most of us are going to say Saturday's totally fine. Go ahead and play it early. But I'm curious to the people that have plans to go to the game.
Yeah.
Are you cool with the flex?
And the extra day thing is funny to me. We're talking about the most 12 hours, and also you're traveling probably the same, but also the game, I don't know how they figured out. The Packers very well kind of just playing like, hey, if you play on Saturday, that means you're just going to play on the Saturday for the playoffs.
Right.
Like they're just going to, you're not going to get that day regardless. So Ron in Rome chimes in. I would love for the Packers to be flexed this Saturday. My grandson is going with me. He lives in Milwaukee. I live in central Wisconsin. If it's a Sunday night game, he'll have to miss school the next day. In general, I'm against flexing games really hard on ticket holders, Ron in Rome. And look, I get what you're saying there, Ron,
but he's going, so that's good.
Right.
He said flex it.
But it's very specific to him I don't have an opinion on it. I'm not going to the game regardless. I don't need to go. I'm not a sadist. I don't need to go watch my team just get worked around a bunch of Packer fans.
It might be our backups.
Then I get no joy out of the win. Like, I'm not going to take excitement out of beating the backups if that happens. So,
oh my gosh, it's about beating the green and gold, Jim, not who's wearing a green and gold.
No, it doesn't. It does.
That's why it meant something to me when we beat the Niners this year.
It means well, good for you. It means nothing to me if the Bears beat the Packers backups. In particular, honestly, if Jordan Love doesn't play and they play Malik Willis, I really don't. I won't do this. Like, I won't be excited about it. Like, if if they play that game and the Bears beat the Packers without Jordan Love, it doesn't count. And let's be honest, maybe you wouldn't. No Packer fan would allow that as a real victory. We'll talk about this on the other side. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly takeover of Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ho, ho! Oh, my back.
Santa?
Gina Dello from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
Every day, Wisconsin's 600,000 family caregivers help their loved ones to continue living safely in their own homes. It's not easy. Each year, they spend an average of $7,000 out of their own pockets to provide this care. Wisconsin needs family caregivers, and they need more support. Tell your state lawmakers, Wisconsin family caregivers need a caregiver tax credit in 2025. Learn more at aarp.org/WI. That's aarp.org/WI. Paid for by AARP Wisconsin.
Ewald Automotive Group's year-end sale is here, and we're saying yes to the lowest prices of the year on over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. Yes to 0% financing, no money down, and no payments till March 2025. With Ewald's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle and Ewald's guaranteed lowest price. Say yes to our biggest savings of the year through year-end at every Ewald location.
Go to EwaldAuto.com.
To approve credit on select models, interest accrues from date of purchase. Offer expires month end.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Jim, Matt, and Molly take over. Wilde and Tausch continues. 844-770-3776. How you get into the show? Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton with you. You can see us on ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison, YouTube. You can interact 844-770-3776 at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee. Jesse Nelson behind the glass. I'm in the Everlight Solar studio, and we are asking you, there's a possibility, I think a real possibility, that the Bears-Packer game gets flexed from Sunday to Saturday. Again, if you're betting, I'm sure the Seahawks are favorites tonight, and which means the Bears lose this game, which means you got a 4-win team going against a Packers team that is probably, I don't think they're favored to go win at Minnesota. But either way, if they lose to Minnesota, the Packers will have nothing to play for if they lose to Minnesota. So this game could really be a bunch of backups playing, so moving it to Saturday might work. Now, there's a positive of a Saturday game, gets you something to watch on a Saturday, and you can watch the rest of the games on Sunday and watch the Vikings and the Lions play each other and see what those teams are and have some really big games lined up. So there's positives to that, but we were asking you, what do you think? Are you okay if the Bear-Packer game gets flexed to Saturday, 844-770-3776? Dan in East Troy says it's a Milwaukee game too. 608 chimes in. Wildcard weekend is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So, because there's been some people like, well, the Packers are in, they'll play on Saturday, get some extra day. I think we're talking about 12 hours, and realistically, I don't know how they fully break out the schedule, but if the Packers played on Saturday, they probably would play a Saturday wildcard game, depending on that. So like that would be the guess.
Well, it'd still be negative to the team that possibly played on Sunday because there's no guarantee that a wild card opponent they played on.
Matt, teams play on Thursday. Like, well, why are we fine? Like, everyone's overthinking this. Like,
here's the thing: 12 hours is still better than none. And of those 12 hours, Jim, it's sleeping hours, which is recovery. It's pure recovery.
I can't. All right.
No, it is better. If
this
you don't
is not
want
sabermetrics. This is just like I want this to be true.
And that's what people feel.
So when it flips, if let's say someone plays on Saturday and the Packers played on Sunday, they have an advantage then?
I mean, yeah, they would say so. You would say so.
No, I would not, because that's an insane take.
If they put the Rams and the Seahawks on Saturday, and the Rams win the division by winning that game, and then the Packers play the Seahawks on Sunday the following week, the Packers go Sunday to Sunday, the Seahawks go Saturday to Sunday, that would be one extra day of rest could be an advantage, right?
It's not a whole,
That's
it's
what
12
I'm saying.
hours. It's not
but it's sleep time. That's where you recover. Your body recovers when you sleep.
I would believe it more if it was a Monday to like a Saturday or a Sunday to a Thursday. These athletes are used to having to play from a Sunday to a Thursday, let alone a Saturday to a Sunday.
Used to it. No
they're
one's
fully
saying they're
capable.
not used to it. I know, but I'm saying, Jim, have you ever felt better one day later?
No.
Have you ever worked out and not felt better?
The next day, not 6 days later.
Possible.
We're talking 6 and 7. We're not talking 1 and 2. We're talking 6 and 7 days. You are just grasping at straws. You are just.
No.
I'm not going to let you have this one. I'm not going to let you have it. I'm not going to let you have it. No, you sound like an insane person. You sound.
12 hours can make a difference in how you are feeling.
All right. How many? Okay.
What if you're sick? Jesse could feel better tomorrow in 12 hours.
Yeah. What about me?
For real, Jim,
What about Michael Jordan playing with the flu? No, you're
12
insane.
Hours changes anything.
When 12. Okay, I'm sorry.
Right
so,
now.
all right. How many hours are in a week?
24 times 7.
There's 168 hours in a week. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So then we're talking 12 of those hours. What percentage of 12 is 168?
That's 14th. 1/14. You didn't need to break it down.
All right.
12 divided by 168 is 7%.
7%. That's what I wanted. So you're talking about 7%. You're grasping at straws. You're grasping at straws. If your team is good, this doesn't matter. Thank you.
Jim, injury, there's tons of different things.
12 hours ain't going to make a difference.
Want an extra day. And if the other team had it, you would believe they had it.
No, I would not. I would never. It would never come out of my mouth as a talking point. It is an insane.
Well, here's the thing.
Point.
You've got dozens of texters saying that it is a talking point.
One. Now, what are we doing? One.
Jesse
texter.
put one up, and then someone called in and said it. So that's at least 2, and then you got
nobody said
3.
Nobody texted. All they texted was wild card weekend is Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's not agreeing to you. They're just telling you the days.
Someone was saying that we had an extra day off if they play Saturday and go Sunday.
That was the caller. One person.
Okay, there's 2.
Possible.
It's possible. It's also
the fact that you're getting hung up on this as much as you are.
Because this is an insane take. Your team is too good to care about this.
Well. It's not about the team caring about this, Jim. It's about the fans caring about this.
Right, and fans care about a lot of dumb things that don't matter, and this is one of them. 608 chimes in. Game will matter against the Bears regardless.
Any Bear fan caring about the Bears.
Game will, again, there it is. You don't have a take, so you're just going to take a shot at the Bear side of things. That's fine. You proved my point. I win because you didn't have an argument. You just went Bears still suck.
Because you yell louder and you run the show doesn't mean you win every argument.
No, but you saying Bears still suck does not. That's why I won, because you had no argument, so you just go Bears still suck. So thank you.
No, you won't listen to an argument. So I go with the only thing you will.
You don't have an argument. I killed your argument. 7% will not make a difference either way. And if the Packers have the shorter time, you will not hear it come out of my mouth at all that the other team has an advantage. You will not hear it. I know I sound crazy because I'm talking to a crazy person. All right, the 608 chimes in. Game will matter against the Bears regardless. With seeding compared to the Commanders, no one wants to be the 7th seed and go to Philly in the first round. I don't know. The Commanders, they have 2 games left. So again, if the Commanders lose, that could swing it the Packers' way as well. So I don't know how much the Packers are going to play in this game. 844-770-3776. Jim from Madison chimes in. Jim, defer to the world-class athlete and whether or not an athlete values extra rest. We didn't talk about value, and I'm saying that 7% over 148 hours, 12 hours will not swing that game in any way, shape, or form. 844-770-3776. That is honestly the most insane talking point I've ever had. Matt's on something, he's stuck on it, and he's sticking to it. That game, I promise you, that if you ran that game 10 million times,
is terrible.
When you're talking out of a whole week, we're not talking days. We're talking a whole week, we're talking 7%. 7% difference. 7%.
Jim, 7% is a pretty big deal. If I said you have a 100% chance to live or a 93% chance to live, 7% sounds like a pretty big deal.
Okay, but
I'm not saying it's to live. We're saying this. I know it's not substantial, but
it's
how
insignificant.
Could getting more
insignificant
rest? It's. I don't think it's.
No, it's just you have this little point and you're proud of it and you just want to stick with it, and that's fine.
I'm not proud of the fact that I observed that Saturday comes before Sunday.
You can count, I know. 844-770-3776. After playing on Monday night, the Packers are going this weekend game on a short week. Moving the Bears game to Saturday would be a second short week leading to the playoffs. Not a fan of that, Joel and Matt, Minneapolis. So then, Matt, to your point, the Packers are in trouble this week. Or if they move that game to Saturday, right?
They would be on a shorter week.
Wait, well, we should figure out.
Would be on a shorter week.
Matt, to your point, what I'd like to do, Jesse, can you add up all the sleep hours the Packers have had?
Let's just go to break.
No, I want to add up. I want to add up all the sleep hours the Packers have had all season and compare them to the team they play in the playoffs. And whichever team slept more, and then I also want their sleep scores. And whichever team slept more, they win. This is Matt Malley, take over Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Playoff spot? Check. Now the green and gold look to make one more statement before the regular season ends.
Obviously, we lost them early in the season, so one of these games that we got to get back. We got to go win this game, and we got to be able to beat these good teams.
Prepare for the Pack-and-Vikings with Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Tune in Sunday morning at 9 right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube page.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
Bring in 2025 at American Place Casino. Join us for the Oztacular Countdown featuring $50,000 promotional drawings, merchandise giveaways, live entertainment, and more. They say seeing is believing, and at American Place Casino, you'll believe you found a real game changer. From table games to the hottest slots, plus dining, bars, and more, we've got it all. This New Year's Eve, let the celebration begin. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Is your business looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been looking forward to the future and helping businesses shape what's next for 165 years and for the last 15 here in Milwaukee. They offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making capabilities, and extensive experience to help navigate the complexities of a constantly changing business market environment. With your business in mind, commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC.
Whether it's breaking Packers news, breaking Bucks news, or breaking Brewers news, we are Milwaukee's place for the biggest sports stories right when they happen. 94.5 ESPN.
Jim, Matt, and Molly takeover of Wilde and Tausch. I am Jim Rutledge. He is Matt Hamilton. We are not together in the Everlight Solar Studio. Jesse Nelson is with me. Matt is on safari. I am in the Everlight Solar Studio in Madison. Hopefully everyone out there is driving safe. Matt, I'm not sure what the weather is up by you, but it is foggy as heck. As I look out the Spark building here in the Everlight Solar Studio, I can barely see across the way, let alone the Capitol. Usually we have a nice view of the Capitol here in Madison. It's foggy, and walking on the sidewalks around here, too, very icy, so hopefully everyone stays out. I don't think the roads are icy, but the sidewalks, be careful walking out and about.
Also foggy up here. I'm in the, Shawano area.
Oh, I love that area.
Yeah, it's really nice, but man, it is super foggy, and that fog kind of has made, like you said, all the sidewalks, our deck. I walked outside during the last break. Our deck is glare ice. I'm very glad that I spend a lot of time on slippery ice, so I'm used to the feeling, because I think if Grandma would have went out there, she'd have lost her hip.
On that note, I almost got to see something rare, Jesse Nelson. I believe this was Tuesday. Matt Hamilton. Now, he saved himself, but made a little jump and landed in what was kind of like a soupy mess. It looked like ice, but it broke. And one foot went through and the other foot kind of slipped, but he caught himself. I mean, I would have seen an Olympic gold medalist who makes their living on ice fall on ice, but he didn't do it. He still kept his feet.
That's why he's the best.
That's why I still do it, Jim.
Also, side note, Matt got a full 9 hours the night before. So,
yes, that is a good point. I did.
Chris from Baraboo chimes in, get this clown Jim off the radio. Jesse should be subbed in today. Matt needs a new co-host. Okay, Chris. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Chris. It's not afternoon, but good afternoon. Robin Madison says it's 26, no more Christmas music. Jim in the third ward chimes in.
Wilde and Tausch like it through the new year. Wilde and Tausch like it through the new year. I would stop it today, but
I stopped it. Last night was the end of it for me. And we started Thanksgiving, but I was kind of, all of us were over it. It was fine. It's a nice month, but then to Matt's the music guy on the show. These aren't bangers. These are nice little nostalgic little hits, and then you step away, and then you revisit them.
We like playing it, especially because we did start them a little late this year. We didn't start till December 14th. So we're going to play them through New Year's. And if you don't like it, too bad.
Jim in the third ward says, what does the data say? Is having one more day of rest better for an NFL team? I'm sure there's enough data on it. I don't know if anyone's cared enough to study it. Matt, but I will say this. I got bad news for you. As the Packers play the Vikings coming up this weekend, Vikings have a competitive advantage because the Packers played on Monday.
That's true. That is true. Now, obviously, as we know,
Packers would have been favored if the Vikes didn't get that extra sleep.
Maybe. Maybe it's just a half point. Maybe it's just the hook instead of a whole point right now, which bettors would know. You're looking for any sort of inside info. It's like, Jordan Love didn't sleep good last night because he had nightmares. Sources tell me. He had a nightmare before Christmas.
770-3776. I wonder how long it is that, so I have a sleep tracker thing, and I see my sleep. At some point, is that going to be made available of the night's sleep that a player has? I feel like at some point teams will start tracking it, but then will that be made available to bettors? Of Jordan Love questionable with night terrors?
Sleep score of 72.
A low sleep score.
James Harden went to bed at 6 a.m. Huh.
Right. It really it also very much depends on the athlete, because whether it's James Harden or others you heard the stories about Michael Jordan out all night and then putting 50 up. Different athletes can
playing golf all morning and early afternoon and then going to play the night game.
Yeah, not actually as an Olympian. The stories of him playing golf all day and then playing in the Olympics, and I know the opponents were much lesser, but you're a golf guy and you're Olympian, and he would sometimes play 3 full rounds of golf and then play and then dominate a team, even medal rounds. Just
no chance. No chance I would do that.
Could you play any golf before you competed at an Olympic sport? In the Olympics?
If I was karting, if I was taking a kart, I could probably go and I'd play 9 holes, but it's still golf is still mentally exhausting to do for, 4 or 5 hours if you're out. So and then to have to reset and then recommit to another 3-hour game, which is more important than when you're currently playing. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. That seems like not the wisest wizard move, but I'm not the GOAT of the NBA. So who am I to say anything?
Yeah, well, I asked because, I mean, you and Team Schuster have to be near GOAT status, at least as far as United States curling. Your gold medalist.
I'm a big napper, Jim, and I do believe that like 1 hour nap makes a difference. So I got to think an extra 12 hours is going to make a difference. 24.
Right, true. Everyone's different on it because, like, there are athletes out there who do not need like the sleep. Like some athletes are just going to be different on it.
My teammates don't take naps. I got 2 teammates that don't, and I'm like one that if I play a game and we got another one in the day, I'm trying to find at least half an hour.
608 chimes in. I've seen the Packers favored by a point. Where can I get this +1 spread you're talking about? I don't know. Matt's the one who gave me the line. Justin in Middleton chimes in. Jesse, you've got the clip of Rashawn Gary scaring the crap out of Lisa Salters and play it on the air. It's fantastic. And Josh in Menominee Falls chimes in. I feel like maybe the Bears need 2 weeks off between every football game. Honestly, if sleep helped, I would just give up a game. Like if I'm the Bears, we'll just hibernate for a game and then come back and they have a chance to at least go then 8-9 as opposed to the 4 wins they have. Like if it really did help, I think that'd be a strategic advantage for the Bears. They'll be like my hibernating joke. There we go. All right. 844-770-3776 is where you can chime into the show.
So at ESPN Bet, the Packers are 1-point favorites now, but other books still have the Vikings as 1-point favorites.
Yeah, so I saw the Vikings opened at 1.5-point favorites. So
some Packer fans moving the line. I mean, it's pick 'em. It's a pick 'em, which I think is the way to pick this game. It is interesting. I mean, if you're in Madison, you heard Mike Tannenbaum talk about how he likes the Packers defense, and that's why they can make a playoff run. And I agree the Packers can make a playoff run. Like, my thoughts on the Packers are they are a team that can make a playoff run. But they are equals with Minnesota, a team that also can make a playoff run, and not as good as Philadelphia and Detroit, even though Detroit's diminished. That's how I look at it. That if I'm picking a favorite, which I believe you have one, just like you have a best friend and a pet peeve, you have one favorite, and the favorite is Detroit, and then I would put Philadelphia in that kind of slightly above Minnesota and Philadelphia, with all 4 of those teams having a shot to represent the NFC in the playoffs. The other teams, I would say, are long shots. So the Packers are in the, hey, they got a legitimate shot. I think the Packers can beat anyone, but I also think they can lose to anyone. The Packers have to go out to Los Angeles with a healthier Rams than the last time they faced them. That's not going to be an easy game. Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl winner. Matthew Stafford's a Hall of Famer. Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. Plus, he's Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, and Sean McVay has won a Super Bowl. Like, that's going to be a tough game. The Packers should rightfully be favorites, but that's not a game you're going to feel super about. And so the Packers, to me, are just one of those teams that I think they can play with anyone and they can lose to anyone in the playoffs. And nothing's going to happen against Minnesota or Chicago that's going to change my opinion on that. But if we looked at the defense here, the Packers are behind. So the Packers, let's see here. The takeaways for the season, the Green Bay Packers are behind Minnesota. Minnesota has 30 takeaways. The Packers have 28. And then when you look at scoring defense, the Packers are at 19 points a game they allow. And then the Vikings are at, let's see here. Sorry, get this organized properly. The Packers are at 19 points a game, and the Vikings are at 18 points a game allowed. So really any defensive metric, you're going to put the Vikings better than the Packers. And offensively, it's kind of a crapshoot. Like points, yards, like they kind of go back and forth. So these teams are very evenly matched. I think I think the Vikings have a better defense, and I think that their defensive coordinator is better. Just by the idea of Flores has been a very successful defensive coordinator for a long time. He's been a head coach based off his success as a defensive coordinator. His defense right now statistically is better. So I would say that all case in points is Minnesota's defense is better. I think their offenses are equal. But I think that, again, these teams as a whole are incredibly equal teams. And the only thing I think tips the game one way or the other is LaFleur over O'Connell. But I think O'Connell is one great coach. So I don't think that's a massive tip. But LaFleur has the experience.
Interesting. I mean, that's the interesting point is because I don't necessarily disagree with any of the things you said. Like their defense is obviously highly ranked this season. Their offense is humming along. I would love to say the Packers have a better offense, but Justin Jefferson is undeniable.
And obviously, across the board, the Vikings have more skill player talent.
Right.
The running back is better for the Packers, but just if you put all the group into one pile.
I totally agree. So, like I say, I agree with all your points. I just still find it interesting that the Packers right now, even with the Vikings at 1.5 point favorites going into the game, that's still on a neutral field. They're 1.5 point dogs because Vegas believes in the Packers, right? Because 3 points for home field is what the rough estimate is. So it's just interesting to me that the team with the better record, the better defense, the better skill position players, according to like basically what we're getting at, has moved the line in this way.
Well, I mean, that's Better's moving the line.
Well,
but I would
say it's Better's, but it's people that believe something. They believe the Packers are better, even though we're kind of
like. Let's not use the line as the defining factor.
It's still an interesting thing because there's a lot of sharps and a lot of bettors that aren't just fans of the team. They're actually, I would say, the majority of bettors are actually not fans of teams. I think they are actually like people that just like to gamble. So it's interesting that there's a lot of people that are favoring the Packers right now because like I was saying, Jim, I don't disagree with anything you said.
I don't find that interesting. One, it's hard to beat a team twice, and two, the Packer fans, and this is unless we're going to completely ignore the trope all the time that fan bases, the move that's happened, that's always moved by a fan base. That Packer fans like that line, that movement, they move that line.
That's all fan move.
It could move
fan
back.
Line.
But your initial point of the correct line was still not a massive line. I think you said the initial line was -1.5. So
yeah,
that's still a valid point. And I think Vegas looks at this as a pick'em, and the Packers. It's hard to view the Packers losing to Detroit twice and Minnesota twice. Like that's hard to wrap your brain around.
And I guess that's the logic behind it, but it's even on like the predictor on the ESPN app, it's got Packers at like 54.8% chance to win it.
Pick them. Yeah. So
it's kind of interesting to me when you've got a team that's like we're saying has a better record, has a coach that seems to be on the right track, a defensive coordinator that has done it and been around before. Skill position players are just as good, if not better, at most of the spots than the Packers. Here's why. It gives me hope as a Packer fan.
You should have hope. It's a pick'em. It's a pick'em.
Yeah.
You should have hope. My point is, one, Bettors are still human. They're still the G as opposed to the Viking, and there's still, though not just with Packer fans hating on the Vikings, there's still this overall disbelief. But I'll say this over and over again: the Packers were a joke until they weren't. The Patriots were a joke until they weren't. Minnesota is going to be a joke until they aren't anymore. And I don't know if this will be the year. But I will say this. We talk about the run that Jordan Love has gone on for a while here. Since November 17th, Sam Darnold has thrown, I believe, 17 touchdowns against 1 interception, averaging 275 yards per game passing and blowing anything out of the water as far as completion percentage that Jordan Love has done. So in this a-thon that Jordan Love is on, Darnold is in one as well. And so, like that,
for Darnold.
My point is, these quarterbacks over the course of this season are the same dang guy.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold is not Brock Purdy. Sam Darnold was the first overall pick and Packer fans, rightfully so, love to talk about how you take time to develop quarterbacks. Well, Sam Darnold just had a different sort of development. He had to play early, then he sat, and now he's developed. Like, that's not a crazy story to tell.
Right.
And so, Sam Darnold was the first overall pick. He is a 6'3" athletic freak who has all the physical ability to make all the throws you're looking for, just like Jordan Love. So I think those two quarterbacks are very similar, and there's not that many more. I guess if you did pelts in the wall, Jordan Love has one awesome playoff game and one mid-playoff game. And because his stats for the 49ers game are exactly the same as the Giants game last year, and that was not a good game for Jordan Love. So if we just looked at it in that category, not the best game for Jordan Love. So that's what he has on him. I think these two teams are incredibly equal. And I feel like the Packers are going to win this game because it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season, even though this game's at home. But I think the other part of this is, and we've talked about on the show, Matt, the Vikings, they're not coming off the playoffs last year. But I will die on this hill. They would have been in the playoffs if Kirk Cousins doesn't blow out his Achilles against the Green Bay Packers. Because the Packers, I don't think, go to Minnesota, because the Vikings win enough games to take that spot from Green Bay. And then we're talking about a Minnesota team that is coming off of a playoff game last year. I don't think they had the same success as the Packers had, but I think they made the playoffs. And then if you're looking at the Vikings as the team that made the playoffs last year and then are crushing it this year, you have a different view for it. Just look at the Packers. Packers made the playoffs last year and are doing very well this year.
So we're living Minnesota's reality.
Well, again, I don't think Minnesota.
Achilles?
I don't know if Minnesota would have beaten up Dallas. Like, that's not fair. I'm just saying the actual playoff availability. Kirk Cousins finishing that season, they had enough of a lead. They would have done it. They basically just fell apart, as most teams would, without their quarterback. Now, that's not saying the Packers earned their playoff spot last year, and the Packers earned their playoff victory. I'm just talking optics. I think that also plays into why Vegas and others might believe in Minnesota a little bit less. But they're not that far off of being a team that should have been in the playoffs last year. They lost their quarterback. Yeah. Most teams are cooked when you lose your quarterback.
That's a good point. They certainly are.
Matt, you have a lot of Vikings fan friends, don't you?
I do. I do.
What's their vibe heading into this game or this week? Like, where are they at?
They kind of do the same trope that like a lot of fans do, like Brewers fans, right? Oh, well, Brewers are going to brewer. They'll probably get into the playoffs and then lose in the first round. Or that's kind of how my Viking friends are. They feel like the other shoe's going to drop eventually right now. They feel like their season's been way too good for there not to be some like disaster coming.
And I understand that. And again, the example I'll use is I'm a Cubs fan. I did not think the Cubs were going to win. I did not think the Cubs were going to come back 3-1. I didn't think they were going to come back that game. Again, you're a joke and you're viewed as someone that's going to collapse all the time until you don't. And I said this before, too. If you're a Vikings fan and you're listening, whenever your curse breaks, and this will happen for the Bears, too, it's probably going to be ridiculous, too. Like, look at the Patriots. Bum franchise for a long chunk of change there. A 6th-round pick comes through and changes the franchise. The Green Bay Packers had a long stretch of being really bad. Some guy, you trade a 2nd-round pick for Brett Favre from Atlanta, and it changes your franchise fortune. The Cubs are down 3-1 and then down late in the game, and then they win the World Series. Like Minnesota or whatever, if they break their curse, it'll happen in the playoffs. It's going to be something weird. Because teams that have the long run, it always just seems to be something weird that breaks the curse. Nobody was excited about getting Brett Favre when he got here. Everyone was into Don Majkowski. The Magic Man.
Yeah, baby.
And I don't blame him. That's a pretty awesome overall pick. 844-770-3776. 608 chimes in. I guess he was a 3rd overall pick. I thought he was number 1. So I would say, looking at this, I think these two teams are equal. I think Minnesota's got a better defense. And that's just the way that
Stats would agree with that. I agree with you, too.
Yes. And Jared in Ohio, or Canton, Ohio, says, honestly, the Bear fans should take Favre's old advice, take 2 weeks off, then quit. I don't think that's a Favreism. I think that's a Rodney Dangerfield feel, I feel like, or something like that.
I know. I use that a lot. I like that one.
Yeah. Maybe Favre used it, but I think that feels like Rodney Dangerfield or something. Hey, Matt, that's a nice hat. Did it come with a free bowl of soup?
Yeah, exactly. It looks good on you, though.
All right, we'll play Will Nelly next.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
The Harlem Globetrotters 2025 World Tour is here, bringing all the cool tricks and laughs fans love. We're coming to the Fiserv Forum on December 31st. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets to the 2025 World Tour, presented by Jersey Mike Subs.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Start the day with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Can't get to the Super Bowl in early October, but they are not playing like a team that has those types of aspirations right now.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton with you. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. By we, I mean me and Jesse Nelson. Matt Hamilton is in the Outback wearing his Indiana Jones hat and a sleek-looking Iron Jock shirt as well. I am in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. Matt Hamilton. I got to do this once because Wilde and Tausch is also big fans of the show, big fans of Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, Matt Hamilton, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light, partner.
Absolutely. So we got you here until noon, and we're doing a little bit of our own show, a little bit of Wilde and Tausch, hence the music, hence Jesse Nelson.
Hey.
And hence, whoa, Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
I feel pretty good about some of these things to run by you guys today from the holidays. So first up, what's your personal policy on taking leftovers from the holiday gathering that you did not host? Because every gathering I was at over the last couple of days, we were offered leftovers, and I felt like most people declined, and I was one of the only. And my history with leftovers is well documented on this show, going back to when I was in a suite at a Badger game and grabbed one of the 2 containers available and took some chicken wings home.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, I did. And we ended up with some meatballs from my mother-in-law, and she specifically said these are for Jesse. And I was like, well, you could say they're for Jesse and Becca. Like, they're not just for Jesse.
Right.
It happened with some desserts at my aunt's house yesterday. What is your personal policy, Matt Hamilton, on taking leftovers from the holiday gatherings you do not host, if offered?
First and foremost, they got to be good. I'm not taking any leftovers to save your feelings. If you didn't do a good enough job for me to want to take leftovers home, I'm not going to just take them to humor you and then toss them when I get home.
Well, you could. That is one
That's
play.
the Christmas spirit, Matt Hamilton.
Like, what if there's a bunch of extra meat and the meat wasn't that good, and they're like, here, do you want to take some pork home? And you'd be like, yeah, sure, because I think
for a lot of, here's the thing. There's plenty of people that also decline. It's not like I'm saying, I decline and here's why. It's terrible. I'm just like, no, we're good. Like, you're heading out of town soon. We don't need them.
I think it's worse to not offer an excuse. If someone says, hey, you want some leftover chocolate bars? No,
thanks.
Like, that sounds more harsh than, no, we're good. We're starting a diet on Tuesday. Like, come up with something.
I would say you got to offer and you got to take some leftovers. So, like, we had family over, and obviously this show loves Pizza Hut. So does the Rutledge family. We had family over. It is impossible to find the right amount of pizza to order. And I thought I did a good job. I did, like, the dinner box, and then I did, like, a big, large meat lovers pizza, too. We still had a few leftovers. And so, too many. I love pizza, but honestly, it was more about my mother-in-law was sitting there. I'm like, this isn't all going to fit in the container I want to put the pizza in, so please just take off the top at the bare minimum. And she was happy to take some home. And then when we went down to my in-laws yesterday, there's food in the fridge. To your point, Matt, I would always, like, I'm not a big ham. Ham's fine. It's just more of like, I can have ham. You have ham all the time. So, like,
right.
Like my wife brought home ham yesterday, and I'm like, whatever, you can have it. But, like, whenever we do turkey, I'm always like, please get as much turkey as humanly possible. So I guess to your point, I just feel like I have turkey like that, like, once a year. Ham, I just feel like it's Easter. It's just regular dinner once in a while. Like, it's just a thing. So the ham, I kind of could take or leave. So in general, though, we're always taking leftovers because most people, like, a lot of times it's an older person making the food, they're going to toss it all. So it's just nice to take it, even if you don't want it. But we take it because we want it.
That's my thought. You don't want it to go to waste.
Right.
I like free food.
Whoa! Don't get me wrong. I like free food too, kids. It's just...
You're just hoity-toity about it.
Sometimes I just don't want it. I like it. I just don't want it.
All right, next question. This was quite the situation yesterday. Have you ever been around a group of people watching a replay of a game that thought it was live?
Oh.
Yes, yesterday.
You were yesterday?
My mom was watching the Penn State-Ohio State game. There's a replay going on, and she thought it was the college football playoff.
Did you make a bet?
Light out.
Did you make a bet?
No. No, I immediately went up and was like, what are you watching the replay for? She's like, what? This is a replay? I was like, yeah.
She's doing more research than you do for the show. She's trying to help you out. She's like, Matt, I'm going to watch this and tell you what happened.
Yeah, that's what I normally do is have Kath watch the shows for me and games.
Give me mom's notes on the game. Mom, give me the notes.
Chris Jackie kicked a field goal. Oh, no, that was McManus.
Jim, have you ever been in this situation?
I feel like it's been a long time. Back when, like, ESPN Classic was on, I feel like my grandpa got sucked in once. It's an age thing, not to be ageist, but it's definitely like there's just context clues that I think you forget about. Like Matt's mom realizing it's the middle of the day Christmas, like, probably not a game going on.
So,
well, no, it was nighttime here, and it was a light game.
Okay.
Penn State, Ohio State. I'm like,
context clues.
Kathy.
They're playing in Australia, Matt. You got the hat on.
Neutral site game. So, yes, my family yesterday, there were a few people gathered around in the living room when the Ravens-Texans game was on Netflix. But they had NFL Network on. My uncle had put NFL Network on, and they were replaying the Commanders-Eagles game from last weekend. And the Commanders came back and won in, like, the last 10 seconds. They scored. And the whole upstairs went crazy when they threw a touchdown pass. And I went up. I'm like, what? You guys, this was 4 days ago.
It's like the biggest news in sports. That's a bunch of Hamiltons around.
So it also, the other time I experienced this, we were at a sports bar when I was in college in Peoria, Illinois, and they were replaying when Ohio State beat Michigan in the Big Ten tournament on a half-court buzzer beater. I forgot the guy who hit it, but it was it was one of the biggest shots ever hit at the time. And they replayed the game on the big screen before the Big Ten tournament games were starting. We were in there early, and an entire table of people thought it was happening live, and we decided not to tell them, just to see their reaction when they hit the buzzer beater. It was amazing. So I've now taken the philosophy, I'm not going to tell people if they're watching a live or a not live game, a replay. I'm going to let them experience it and have that emotion.
Side note, and I've, whether on YouTube or whatever, watched some of these old highlights from anything from the 90s might have been shot in 1972. At some point, there's also these games have to be within 5-year window, because otherwise they look like they were shot on another planet. I don't understand how technology has advanced so much, because you could take old movies like Home Alone, and obviously they upscale it and make it look better. These NFL games look worse than a video game. You're like, I don't know what's happening in here. And how do these quarterbacks ever complete a pass? It looks almost like some sort of elaborate joke that we thought that was football.
It's weird to go back and watch games from the late 90s and they don't have the score bug on the whole time. And it's it just comes up occasionally and it's huge. It's what are we doing?
I just get so mad at SportsCenter when they'd run the score. It's no, I want to find out when the highlight is going on. Now I just get it delivered to you the second it happens.
So Jesse, hold on, Jesse. I do have one other question. So you asked about a live game and replays and whatnot.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I would say, and when I say back in the day, I say between 16 and 18 or 19, they used to do this thing called Curling Night in America, where we would play a curling tournament made for TV, and then they would play it every Tuesday. So I would play this event in late August, early September, and then in October, November, once for the next 8 weeks, we're playing it on Tuesdays or Thursdays or whatever. Curling Night in America. I was at a bar watching the game with some friends, and the guy next to me was like, "Do you think the U.S. wins this one?" And he had no idea who I was. And I was like, "Yeah, I bet they do." And he's like, "I don't know. The Japan team looks pretty good." And we kind of made a little bet for a beer. And
you fleeced the guy in a tournament you were in on
so
TV at the bar?
The mustache was on for the competition, Curling Night in America, but I was looking like my hair had started to grow out a little bit. I had the beard going. So yeah, he did not tell the difference, or that, I was the same person, but it technically was playing for the first time at the bar. So he couldn't have known the rules. Only I could have known the outcome.
This is very IPT.
I feel like Matt just made himself ineligible for the next Olympics.
I got a free beer out of
This
it.
feels like a violation of some kind that the Olympic Committee is going to want to know about.
I'm just curious if that was technically it was a replay.
I think
but no one else got to see it.
International wire fraud. I don't know. Scrub that from the replay of the show. This is Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Prize Picks is the best.
Playoff spot? Check. Now the green and gold look to make one more statement before the regular season ends.
Obviously, we lost them early in the season, so one of these games that we got to get back. We got to go win this game, and we got to be able to beat these good teams.
Prepare for the Packers-Vikings with Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Tune in Sunday morning at 9 right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube page.
College hockey returns to Fiserv Forum with the 4th annual Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off, December 28th and 29th.
The Wisconsin Badgers return to defend their title, facing the Ferris State Bulldogs in semifinal action on day one. The Yukon Huskies and Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks will battle for the other spot in the championship game.
Don't miss the college hockey action coming to Milwaukee and see who wins the championship on day 2. Secure your seats today at Ticketmaster.com.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Winter is here. Don't let your car care take a backseat. Protect your car against rust, salt, and grime this season at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Tsunami Express makes cleanup a breeze with their state-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and convenient unlimited wash memberships. Try their new best-in-class T2 with graphene wash for the ultimate long-lasting shine and protection. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at TsunamiExpress.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
We don't just cover the green and gold. We cover the green and gold. Your home for Green Bay football talk. 94.5 ESPN and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Got you for a little bit longer. You listen back to today's show, Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places. And we've been talking all over the board. We've been talking about, Christmas holiday etiquette, honeymoon escapades, childless Christmases, the Vikings sleep, and how important it is to Matt Hamilton. All that is back at Wisconsin On Demand. You can see Matt Hamilton's Indiana Jones hat. Are you going to wear that tomorrow, Matt? Because I believe we're on... What are we on? Is it 2 to 5 or 2 to 4 tomorrow?
You guys are on 2 to 5.
2 to 5 tomorrow across these networks as well. And Matt, are you going to be wearing your hat?
Yeah, this is my new thing now. I'm wearing this indefinitely.
You're a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy now.
And you're going to wear chaps or not?
Only if if the boot fits, you know.
Whoa, Nelly! One boot?
Just one. Yeah, I think I'm waiting for next Christmas for chaps.
Okay, all right. Well, if you get the full outfit, you can wear it little by little.
I think they're going to be out by then.
Yeah, you can check with Jesse, see if you can wear that too, the Everlight Solar
Yeah,
Studios.
Jesse still had never touched on the other, apparently, what is it, wardrobe malfunction I had?
Please wear shirts to work.
It's not a malfunction. You took your shirt off.
It fell off.
That did not fall off.
Actually, you can blame Jason Wilde for it. He was the instigator behind
He did ask you to take your shirt off. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So,
So
that could also be dual.
about asking teammates to take their shirts off.
I do not think you're allowed to ask teammates to take their shirts off.
And
So
it does seem inappropriate.
yeah, I would advise against that here, even if it is the holidays, Matt Hamilton. All right, so we'll be back at it tomorrow, 2 to 5. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you had some fun. Thanks for Jesse for toughing it out. Thanks to Matt Hamilton for joining the show. You can listen back again, Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. Enjoy the rest of your day. This is Ben, Jim, Matt, and Molly taking over for Wilde and Tausch.
See ya.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by...
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the Deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance is happening now. Save up to 60%, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free 6-piece boneless wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. Now on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For the actual Super Bowl, good luck following that up, because I don't know how Kendrick is topping that, because that was all world. Even if you're not a part of the Bayhive, right? Or Beehive. I don't know what they call them.
Keep on going, Ken. You're on a roll.
I'm
Keep on going,
burying
man.
myself
Doesn't matter.
Right now. All of my 40 years are showing right now.
Keep on going.
Even if you're not a Beyonce fan, I probably should have just gone that route. You can appreciate the spectacular nature, the visuals of that Beyonce performance. I'm going to make a bold Super Bowl prediction already. Forget the teams for a second. We are going to look back, and we are going to say that Beyonce's back-end NFL, Beyonce's doubleheader performance, the second game of the doubleheader, the halftime show, exceeded what Kendrick Lamar brought at the Super Bowl when we get ourselves into February. That's my bold prediction.
Yeah, we're going to cut that. We're going to play it all over ESPN programming, and it is going to be the thing that resonates throughout here in Bristol for all of time, because you're right. And look, I had the, and I'll say it, displeasure of watching that game because we have to, obviously, because we're breaking it down. I was actually working during that game, and I was watching, and get this, Ken, I don't know what's worse, completely missing the halftime show of Beyonce or watching it on mute. Because that's what I had to do. I had to watch that on mute, and I had to watch Beyonce, Queen Bee, a Houston native, in her hometown on Netflix. First ever time the NFL is on Netflix, and I had to, guess what? Watch it on mute.
Why were you watching it on mute?
Because I was working. Man. I was working the radio waves.
Oh, okay? I got it.
And so, don't get me wrong. I'm sure a lot of people tuned me out and tuned in to Beyonce, and I'm all for that.
But you know what, though? I think you picked maybe, or you had the better of the two if you had to pick and choose.
Oh, sure.
Because, yes, we know Beyonce can perform vocally, but, I mean, this show had everything. It had cowboy hats, and
Cadillacs.
It had synchronized dance. It had Cadillacs. It had horses. It had platforms. It had American flags. It had
pyrotechnics.
The Texans owner and his daughter coming out in a Cadillac. I mean, it had everything. So you saw a good 60% of this performance if you were able to at least see it. I'm telling you, I mean, that was as good as it gets, and right up there with any Super Bowl halftime show we've had ever since, maybe, speaking of Houston, Lady Gaga several years ago.
Yes, we'll get into the Super Bowl halftime talk, or just halftime shows, in maybe later on in the program, in the show. But we have to get to this, Ken, because the NFC is an interesting one, especially the NFC playoff picture, because you got a lot of teams out here right now that are either quote-unquote limping into the playoffs, i.e. the Lions and the Eagles. And we'll get, you mentioned to me something in the break that we'll need to get into as well, in terms of where the NFC picture plays out. Specifically, Ken, who has the inside track to get the number one seed in the NFC? And we just did a gift exchange earlier, and you stole my pick of the Vikings. And for me personally, I do think as things play out, the Vikings have a good shot. Now, things have to transpire a little bit their way, but you look at how these teams are set up and the schedule is set up. So kudos to the schedule makers at the beginning of the year of putting a lot of games of consequence towards the end of the season and how it's playing out. The Vikings have a really good shot right now. They're sitting in that wild card spot as a 5 seed, but they're 13-2, Ken. Do they, you think, because I think they have an inside track, do you think that they have an inside track to get that number one seed in the NFC?
I mean, they do have a really, really strong chance of doing so. They have a more difficult matchup than the Lions do to make sure that Week 18 means that they are battling for the NFC North crown and that number one seed in the NFC. The Lions go to a San Francisco team that has, for all intents and purposes, thrown up the white flag. That's a done deal. They're out, right? So the Lions go there. They exercise some demons from last year's NFC Championship game, and they get back and they will host the Vikings. Now, the Vikings need to take down the Packers in Week 17 on home turf. That is decidedly more difficult, but I do think that the Vikings are able to take care of business, and Week 18 does turn into win, and you're the number one seed in the postseason. So inside track